Hello, everybody, and welcome home, Cobras. I'm Miranda, and this head girl class of 82, and I'm actually live in the dining hall on campus at CC Sweden Senior High School in Nassau, Bahamas. I got to tell you, it's so good to be back on campus. And sooner or later, some of the others who I'll be interviewing throughout the course of the afternoon will be here, but I want to share with you my story, a little bit of my story as a timid teenager coming into this campus for the first time. When I came to the school, I did not know anyone except my older brother, who was a year ahead of me. And so I felt like a fish out of water. And if you know anything at the time, which was back in the 80s, this was the largest senior high school in Nassau, Bahamas, and we actually had two campuses. If you're from Grand Bahama, you're familiar with the whole Hawksbill scene. So this was like the largest school in Nassau. Here I am, feeling like a fish out of water, completely intimidated by the vastness of this school, and also the fact that I did not come from a feeder school. Most of the children that came to the school were either from H&S Junior High School or what was the other one? TG Glover, I think it is. Junior high school. So most of the students coming in were from those two junior high schools. I came from neither one of them. I came out of the private school system. So it was very, very intimidating to be on this campus and among those students. But one of the things that I learned early was that just needed to focus on being myself and not being involved in the it crowd or those kids that may have been considered popular. And I just focused on my academics and doing what I needed to do because I had goals in mind, even though I was just a shy 14-year-old at the time. I had goals in mind to someday go to college and just to basically make my contribution to society. And so walking around on this campus brought back a flood of memories that I would have had as a teenager at CC Sweeting Senior High School. So if you're joining us right now, just make sure go ahead and tag somebody and let them know that we are live coming from CC Sweeting Senior High School. One of the first things that I recall from being a student at the school was my homeroom teacher in 10th grade. Her name was Mrs. Adusi, and she was an African, but she also taught us English and English literature, and she made it very interesting for me. So very early on, it piqued my curiosity in the English literature, and we studied the works of Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. In particular, I recall that pound of flesh. And it opened and illuminated my life and opened my mind to the world of English and literature and how important it is to our everyday society and our existence. And so we were very, very happy to be a part of her class, me in particular. And it was there that I met some of the people who would have become my lifelong friends. So if you're just joining, I'm Miranda Innes. I'm live on campus at CC Sweden Senior High School, waiting for my guests to come on in. Please share and like the live stream as you see it come across your news feed. So my 10th grade teacher was Mrs. Adusi. She was an African, and she piqued my curiosity in English language and English literature. And I made some lifelong friends in that 10th grade. People like Sherry Glinton Morris and Dwight Miller, that I can recall right off the top of my mind. These are people that have become lifelong friends of mine, and I'm so happy that they're still very much a part of my life. We're also here because we are celebrating the Silver Jubilee of CC Sweeting Senior High School. 50 years of excellence in education. We've had our peaks and valleys and our ups and downs, but we are proud to be Cobras and to be celebrating. We are in fact honoring two former students, as well as our former principal, in the person of the Commandant of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Dr. Raymond King. We're also honoring the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clayton Fernandez, and of course, His Excellency, the former Ambassador to the United Nations, Mr. A. Leonard Archer. Among other people, we will also recognize our Deputy Governor General, Mother Cynthia Mother Pratt, who was very instrumental in sending many students, including myself, off to college, got the opportunity to actually be recipients of a college scholarship because of the integrity, the generosity, the influence of one Cynthia Mother Pratt. Long before she entered into politics, she was in the trenches helping students like me and so many others to get tertiary education and to put that under our belt. So we are appreciative. There are so many people every day as I talk and meet other people. I'm learning of more persons who would have been students of this CC Sweeting. And I'm appealing to all of you out there now to make yourself known and to be a part of what the alumni is doing. I had an interesting talk today with a gentleman, Clarence Russell, and he is a former commander of the police. He was the chief passport officer and also director of Bahamas immigration. So he's just one of the many persons that have matriculated through CC Sweden Senior High School and have and are making so many vast contributions to our society. So we are proud. We are definitely proud of the strides that our students are making in every sphere of society. We have doctors, lawyers, engineers, communications specialists. We have police officers, defense force officers. We have business owners. We have chiefs. I mean, just major accomplishments in the area of hospitality. You know, CC Sweden has always been known as this great institution that produced wonderful persons in the hospitality industry. I can think of Theodore Clark, who is a part owner of Drifters there on Arawak, better known as the Fish Fry, and just so many other people that are doing tremendous things in this community. And we want to acknowledge all of them in their respective places and encourage them to become a part of the alumni of the school, because our sole responsibility is to create opportunities for the students that come behind us so that they can get a hand up in life, and perhaps we can help to set them on their way to making their contributions into society. So if you're in this Oaksville area where CC Sweden is actually located, stop on by and let's have a talk, because this afternoon we plan to take a walk down memory lane. We are expecting the Commissioner of Police, the Commandant, and His Excellency to be in shortly as we continue this discourse this afternoon. So if you're out there, type in the chat, let me know which class you're representing. I'm from the class of 82, so this is actually our 40th anniversary. And when I think about that, that just blows my mind that 40 years ago, I was a student on this campus having no idea where I would be 40 years later. I also was a part of the business studies department, because at the time, here was my mentality, this 14-year-old thinking that if I learned how to type, at least when I graduate, I would be able to get a job as a secretary in somebody's office. That was the extent of my mindset at the time, not even thinking I could go further. I was just like, if I become a secretary, that's good. I get a job. I can take care of myself. So I went into the business studies department specifically for that reason, and chose not to go in the academic studies department, because I wanted to have a skill that I thought would be useful and that would be marketable to get me hired. And so that's what I did. Learned how to type, learned how to do shorthand. I don't think anybody does shorthand nowadays. And also learned the principles of business, accounting, civics, all of those subjects that have become very, very key factors in my life and my decision-making process as I move throughout my career. And also, after high school, had the opportunity, as I said, to go on to college where I majored in mass communications broadcasting with a minor in public relations and have been fortunate to be in that field all of these years, working, of course, locally and internationally. And so there are so many others with so many amazing stories about what they have accomplished as a result of being a part of this high school and graduating from this school. And I want to hear those stories. And so every Thursday from 1 o'clock until October 1st, which is the grand finale, we'll be hosting the gala banquet at Super Club Breezers, where we are honoring the commissioner, the Commodore, and His Excellency A. Leonard Archer. And we're encouraging you all out there to get tickets, to find someone who has tickets so that you can be a part of the 50th anniversary celebration. It's worth celebrating to be around for 50 years and to have produced the kinds of students as a public institution that CC Sweden has is no small feat. The odds were against us. We weren't among the elite. We weren't among the elite, but we made things happen. Our students have become giants in the area of hospitality. Of course, we were a sports giant, so we had students that were able to do well in volleyball and basketball, and many of them got scholarships in softball, et cetera, et cetera. And the school continues to do well throughout the decades. And we're very proud of the work and the students that have come out of this institution over the decades. And so I want anybody who's out there who's listening. Oh, I see Clarence Russell, you represent class of 78. Wonderful. Let me know what class you're representing and give a shout out to your class, because we're encouraging people from all the decades, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s to come on out and be a part of the celebrations. By the way, this coming Saturday, beginning at 12 noon on Arawaki, there is a mini fair that's going on. And so come on out and support. They will have activities for the kids. I'm told face painting, including a bouncing castle and all of those other activities where where children can also come and have some fun. And of course, there'll be native foods on sale. So come on in. One of my fellow alumnus just walked in, and this is Dennis McPhee. He's the first one to stop on by. Have a seat right here. Right there, Dennis. Let everybody see you. Okay, just come on over. All right. Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so this is Dennis McPhee. Dennis, tell me, you graduated 82, like
Class
myself.
of 82.
Class of 82. So tell me some of your fondest memories as a student at the school.
Well, boy, that was a long time ago.
Can you think of anything?
Let me see. One thing I take from, being here, and I always telling my kids them, I was in the technical group. So I did electrical, Miss Bain. I did plumbing. I think that was Mr. Pessany. What else? And then I did woodwork. So with those three things, right now around my house, now I wouldn't say I could go do it professionally for anyone else,
but you could patch up your own house.
I could patch my own house. And I could just, I could do whatever without having to pay anyone to do it. So that is three things what I got from here when I was here.
So you learned some skills.
I learned some skills
to be able to manage your home.
Yes,
can you remember? Did you have a favorite teacher?
But my room teacher was Miss Taka, and she was a pretty nice teacher. Uh-huh. I liked her, and I guess we all did, because we was regulars at school. Uh-huh. We seldomly missed, so she was great.
Did you make any lifelong friends? Like, do you have any friends today that you met from high school?
Oh, yeah, man. Yes, yes, yes.
So,
Let me see if I could name a few of them.
yeah, just a few.
I got my best friend, Dave Williams. We got him. We got Clayton Fernanda. We got Derek Roll. Who else? Godwell Bain. Um, Man, I try to remember some of the guys them. Then you have a lot of the girls them, So
Okay.
I can't remember the names right off the top right now.
Okay, well, you remember some of them. So,
Yeah.
hey, good afternoon, Hubert Bottery.
Right? Yes. You
Yes,
get
this
me.
is my friend. Hubert was my bodyguard at school. And listen, guys, I literally have not seen Hubert since 1982. Believe it or not, I've not seen him. So, hey, Hubert, I hope to see you soon as the weeks and the weeks leading up to our banquet on October 1st. So, Dennis, tell me something else about your experience at CC Sweeting. Like, how did you feel at the time and being a student here? What thoughts did you have? Did you think about it, or was just, oh, I'm just here trying to get out? Like, how were you feeling at the time?
Well, I guess being a student here, it was like, how I can put it, we were the ghetto crew. We were the ghetto crew. And much people see us as folks what would have really excelled in that way. And I looking at myself, I went from I worked at Holiday Inn. I went from busboy, waiter to restaurant manager, and that was I was around. I didn't even reach my 30s yet, at that point. Then I did a few other odd jobs, like I did Dunkin' Donuts, Domino's Pizza, and from them, I went in at continuing ed, and I did cake and pastry. So from there, I started my business, Cakes Made by Dennis. I'm a real good baker, and some of you folks who
I've had some of your cakes. Yes, I'm a witness.
So, not saying toot my own horn, right?
Toot your horn, bro. You deserve it. Toot
but
your
I'm only
horn.
saying what the customers say.
Right.
And one thing I could say within my life, growing up, doing some things, I've made a decision. I've made that decision whereas I've given my life to Christ, and that was one of the best decisions I ever made. Right now I'm still in the church, active. I'm a elder in my church.
Awesome.
So, it's a good feeling.
Wonderful. So listen, if you're just joining us, I'm Miranda Ennis, and I am live on the campus of CCC Sweeting Senior High School in Oaksville, where we're taking a trip down memory lane. So if you're in your area, stop on by. Let's talk about your experience at the school. We are expecting our 3 honorees, Clayton Fernanda, the Commissioner of Police, Dr. Raymond King, who is the Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, along with His Excellency A. Leonard Archer at the 2:00 hour. We're expecting them to come in and to just share their memories of their time here at CC Sweeting. I see we have a comment from Clarence Russell. My homeroom teacher was Mrs. Lenora Archer, 12 F1 business. Yay, I was in 12 F2. Others, the likes of Mrs. Ann Lowers, Mr. Rodney Johnson. I remember Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Sullivan, Mrs. Mary Knapp. Yeah, Mrs. Knapp. Mrs. Knapp went on to Grand Bahama. Mrs. Lewis, wife of Dr. Lewis, DDS dentist. His Excellency A. Leonard Archer was our brave headmaster. Yes, we were a team. In fact, the team of 75 to 78 that lifted the big dollhouse image at that time. Yes, there was this whole image of big dollhouse, and I remember walking into that as a youngster and just having that shadow hanging over me, right? And I gotta say that CC Sweeting was not, in all transparency, the school of choice for me. and my family at the time, but it was the only school that I could get in. That's what happened. And obviously that was divine providence. It was by God's design that I ended up in CC Sweeting because again, I didn't go to HO Nash, neither did I go to TG Glover. And so I was not a part of the junior high schools that
Right.
naturally would come
Here.
into this system. So I didn't know anybody except my brother Dennis at the time, literally who came to the school. Didn't know anybody personally, but I'm so grateful for the experience that I've had being a part of the school and so many of the wonderful people that we have met along the way. So we're really here because we want to bring some light, some illumination to the school, to the progress it's made, to the wonderful people that have passed through the school. And I'm going to look at this list of names because I had this wonderful chat with Mr. Russell earlier, and he was giving me the names of some persons that would have attended the school that I really had no idea. And I really don't even know the people personally. But I want to find that, Mr. Russell, because you've been that conversation has been so helpful to me earlier today. And so he talked about Arlington Miller, who was a former deputy head boy. Oh, no. Arlington Miller, a successful philanthropist in England. He's a graduate. Bishop Hewlin Hanna, did you know
Yes,
that?
I did, right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so he was a graduate as well. And Ambassador Greenslade. Ambassador Greenslade. I'm not sure if you mean Ellison Greenslade.
I think so, I think someone mentioned. I think so.
If,
I think
if,
someone
if
mentioned
you
that.
mean Ellison Greenslade,
Mhm.
help me out, Mr. Russell, if that's Ellison Greenslade, who's also a graduate. But there's so many. The wonderful thing about CC Sweden is that you can find our students in every sphere of society. Wherever you go, you find them in the legal field, find them working around the judiciary, of course, in law enforcement, all around, littered with students of CC Sweeting. You can find them in accounts, you can find them in banking, you could find them in hospitality, you could find them as entrepreneurs. I mean,
Teachers also.
teachers, nurses, doctors, you
Bishop
name
Moses
it.
Johnson.
We are all Bishop Moses Johnson as
Yes.
well. Okay, in religion, he is in charge of, I believe that's the Church of God.
Right.
The leader, I'm not sure what they call them, but he's in charge of that. And so we have made and continue to make an impact throughout society. And it's something that we should be very, very, very proud of. I am boldly say that I'm a graduate of CC Sweden Senior High School. And there's so much more that we can do. My sole purpose, as I continue to repeat, Dennis, being a part of this alumni is so that we could pour into the next generation, so that those students can get opportunities that we did not get when we were students at the school. And I vowed to do my best to try to assist as many as possible to help them to achieve their goals. So when you can you think of anything, any memory that you may have that really stands out in your mind, whether it was funny, whether it was sad, whether it was something mischievous, whatever it was. Can you think of anything that stands out in your mind being a student at the school?
Well, let me think about something. I remember. Let me see. We might have been in grade 10 or 11. Me, Dennis Carey, and Dave Williams. You know, the place right off Market Street where they sell the tarts. Where they sell the tarts. I'm trying to remember what the senior master did name. But we went there just to get some tarts, right? Came back after lunch. One of the prefects grabbed us and took us in, right? And this was a guy from class 82, you know. So now, what he did, when we get there, I can't remember the man name for nothing in the world. But anyhow, when we get there, right? So he looked at us. he say, what I can do with y'all? I said, man, listen, I said, we really wanted to get that time, right?
During school hours.
Well, it was actually lunchtime, but then
but you're supposed to be on campus.
Yeah.
Right.
And what he did, he suspended us for one day, right? Suspended us for one day. But we did get a licking. We did get a licking. And actually, it wasn't really for one day, because then he sent us home, and we had to come right back the next day. So, I mean, it really wasn't a suspension.
Right.
So that's one of the, I look at that as a funny moment, but a lucky one too. Because the thing is that wasn't put on to our records.
Yeah. That's good.
So,
that's good. And you wasn't labeled as a troublemaker.
No. I mean, I to tell you the truth, the office staff and everything, they knew us. Class of 82 was a well-known group, right? And our technical class, we was full of boys, so
right.
we was we had to be
well-known. It's something, yeah.
Noisy class, always going to the principal and stuff like that, for some reason or another, But one thing I could say with that group, I don't remember much fights within our ranks.
Okay.
Everybody did appreciate one another. It was a level of respect, and even to this day, we still get together every so often. But we haven't gotten together now because of COVID and from the hurricane time. But we normally get together, class of 82, and have some sort of events.
Yeah.
So
let's go back to Clarence Russell. I'm so glad you're hanging with us. So anybody else, if you out there, man, just like and share, comment, share some of your memories of being a student at CC Sweden. So he says, my classmates were the likes of Delvin Cheesemoss, Charles Leary, banking mogul, Reverend Dexter DeValier, Raymond Rhymes Wilson, volleyballer Edric Morrison, sports mogul Edric Poitier, sports mogul who was recently appointed head volleyball coach in the USA, doing great things. And yes, though not my classmates, His Excellency, it was Ellison Greenslade.
Yes,
I didn't know he was an alumni. We definitely need to get connected with him. So then one of your standout moments was when talk show host Rodney Munker led many of us junior students onto Bay Street to Parliament, in protest of irregular activities at CC Sweeting in support of the school administration seeking to redress. No, this was like in the 70s. Seeking redress to our needs. This is historical, definitely for a student-led protest on Bay Street. Rodney Munker, See, I didn't even know that. I wasn't even aware. So there's so much rich history among us that is worth sharing, and we ought to share. And that's why I'm so excited about being able to get together on October 1st, so we can have this merging of generations and meet pairs and persons that have gone before and have come after us to really begin to strengthen the building blocks that have been built as a part of the alumni of CC Sweeting, not just a grade or a particular class that has graduated, but as a whole, because in unity there's strength, and we can do so much more together than apart. I want to have a conversation with the chairman of our ball committee, who is Mr. Andrew Hunter, Dr. Andrew Hunter, to be precise. So come on in, let him slip in.
Yes.
Come on in, don't be busy. Let's just have this talk. This is Dr. Hunter. Hey, so happy to have you here. So listen, tell everybody about the plans for this upcoming, no. That's not fair to you. Jump in and tell me about when you came into CC Sweden and what your experience was like.
Well, I was one of those students that came into CC Sweden that did not want to come here. I passed the common entrance, I went to pass the private entrance, and somehow back in the day, if you come from a certain class family, you probably were rejected these scholarships. I was one of them. And I was there, I stayed home for a week, and my mom would literally tear my skin up because she wanted me to go to school. So my brother was already just about graduating from C.C. Street in the class of 75. And I said, Mom, send me to my brother's school. And that's how I ended up at C.C. Streeton. Now, when I got here, I found out a lot of things about C.C. Streeton. This compound was an old Air Force, RAF Air Force base. And as a result of that, we found that a lot of the classrooms still had the jail shackles attached to the walls. I was one of them, little bad little boy, back in school, we do some things. And I was one of them. We used to go and say, when the teacher beat us, we used to go to the shackle and say, we lock up. And so
the physical shackles were still on the wall.
Yeah, and so it used to be I believe it was the science, I don't know the language of science, I can't remember. I believe it was the science department. Mm-hmm. I believe the classroom teacher or the homeroom teacher at that time would have been Mr. Sprigg or something like that, Mr. Sprigg. And so one time we said we was locked up, several of us we said we was locked up, and we had to call, the principal at the time had to call the fire and building, which is next door, to bring the torch to release us. So
y'all
the shackles were rusty.
Yeah, and you attached it to yourselves. Literally.
We locked ourselves up and we didn't.
So what really is amazing to me is the fact that they put children in that environment. That's what I'm thinking about, with shackles still on the wall. Like, the least they could have done was move that and kind of like refurbish and re-renovate the place before you came in. Because to me, psychologically, that's not a good look.
Well,
that's not a good look.
You could think about it now as not psychologically not being a good thing, but boy, back then we used to have that wanted to play. We didn't see the danger in it. We were young.
No, you couldn't see it. It was adventurous.
But we can see it. However, we thank God for the upgrades that we've seen on campus now, that the children don't have to go through that and everything. Everything at the school was primitive. We had our certificates were designed and typed out and used on a guillotine. So everything was primitive. The computer was a no-no.
So did you get a diploma when you graduated, like a physical
Yes,
diploma?
I did, believe it or not.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I did. And I'm so happy to know that I did. A guillotine diploma.
But you got something.
But I got something.
We didn't get anything in 82 because that was a huge year of BUT strike and all kinds of things were going on. And we literally didn't get anything. So
we got something.
Okay, that's
now,
good.
The good thing about my year was we were the first year to assist in establishing the music department. Oh. And so the class of 75, 78, we had a lot of persons, and out of that class, believe it or not, that music department class, we had two directors of music came out of that, myself and Dennis Sturrup. We were both directors of music for the police band.
I know that.
So, and Dennis was an F1, 12 F1, and I was an F3. Dennis is my best friend. C.C. Streeton also made a first with the Royal School of Music, because we were one of the first government schools to have both trumpet players playing Haydn trumpet concerto at the grade 8 level, practical and theory, and passed with distinction. That was myself and Dennis Sturrup.
Wow.
So C.C. Streeton has been a first. I've been trying to follow as much as I can of C.C. Streeton while at school and since I graduated. But I found that C.C. Streeton has played an integral part of the Bahamian society.
Definitely.
And definitely that's why this ball is important to us, because the ball speaks to us. It speaks to who we are and where we came from.
Right.
50 years
we
of
did
excellence in
we
education.
Did it.
That's what I
we
said.
did it.
Yeah.
We had some fun. We had some fun. Oh yes, we got our little hits. We got some whipping. Mm-hmm. All right, because if you was in my class, you get a whipping. Mr. Archer and Mr. Ronald Jones would make sure of that. So we became popular. So one day, I was so fortunate. I had a history teacher, Mrs. Anderson. Mrs. Anderson said to me, Mr. Hunter, come. Say, let me pull you under my wings. And so she did. And I allowed her to. She was an African teacher.
So you got mentorship.
I got some serious mentorship.
Mentored in high school.
And
awesome.
C.C. Streeton at the time was not offering O and A levels. Mm-hmm. And she said to me, Mr. Hunter, I'm going to register you for an O level. And she registered me for 5. But she was a history teacher. And I got the 5. I could not believe it. I was like surprised. When I look at that, that was to me, I believe that was
Was that a turning point for you?
A turning point for me to sit back and say, look here, academically, this can happen.
And that
Yes.
you could do it.
And I can do it.
Yes.
And if I could, and I'm saying this to those of you out there who are young at heart and listening and still members of the school board, student body, you can do it. You can change yourself. You can turn your life around. Look what I've accomplished.
Right.
I got straight to the directorship of the police band. I got one of the highest ranks that a regular person can attain in the force.
And Clarence
So-
Russell is saying right now, say hello to you.
Oh, Clarence Russell, how you
Watch
doing?
it, yeah.
Clarence Russell, my friend. Clarence was an F1 with Dennis Sturrup. And
Yeah.
Clarence, look at Clarence, director of immigration. And matter of fact, many directors come under his remit. And Clarence has been past chief passport officer of Grand Bahama, New Providence, and you name it, Clarence has been there.
Yes.
And so we are proud, and believe it or not, we are so happy to be a proud former students, alumnus of CC Sweeten.
Oh, yes.
You don't know.
Yes.
I live for CC Sweeten. I would do anything for CC Sweeten. If I die, sprinkle my ashes over CC Sweeten. That's how serious I
You've
am.
gone far right
I've
there.
gone far.
Okay, so let's while I'm here as chair of this committee for I call it the Golden Jubilee, because 50 represents Golden Jubilee banquet. Tell us about a little bit for people who don't know where, when, and kind of like what they can expect.
Oh, at this ball, you can expect some great things. First of all, every person that is being honored has an attachment to CC Sweeten. Mr. A. Leonard Archer, first principal. Dr. Raymond King, student,
Class 84.
class of 84. And our esteemed Commissioner of Police,
Class 82.
class of 82, Mr. Clayton Fernando. And the reason why we seek to honor these persons because this is the year, I believe, of CC Sweetens to walk into their season where we have these top people in the post that we could represent us. And not only that, we was let me tell you how excited this committee was. We were just waiting on the confirmation from Mr. Clayton Fernando. We were all up at the hills and just waiting for July the 6th. And when we got it, everything broke loose. So we're gonna have some good entertainment. We're gonna have the police and the under the fence force pop bands in the house. We're gonna have a good DJ giving us some really good music. We have some good camaraderie friends that we've already made, and you can come on down and join us.
Silent auction.
Silent auctions, and you name it. And oh my goodness, you need to see some of the things that have been planned. And for those of us, we even have commemorative plates that you can get with your class name assigned to it, your photos,
don't
everything.
go too fast.
Don't go
with
too
that
fast.
Because, no, don't go too fast because I think this is really going to be a really highlight of tonight.
Right.
One of the graduates, class of 82 again. Listen here, we showing up everywhere. But she has designed these commemorative plates where you can get your class printed on it, whatever year you graduated, in addition to your name or whatever you bought on it. But she's designed them and she's making them available for whomever. You can buy on the spot or pre-order or order after she's left. And her name is Teresa Roll, right?
Yeah, that's Miami.
Yes, Teresa Roll. And so she has, she's going to have those on sale as well. And I believe that every alumni should have one of those
That's
in
right.
their homes as a
Yes.
memorial to their time spent. So yeah, now you can go on. I had to plug that, yeah.
Well,
Say that.
Miranda, you and I have been dialoguing, and we've been at this from the very onset of the alumni. And one of the things that I'm so happy about is the event that was planned almost 10 years ago is finally happening. I'm saying to you out there, all of you, radio land, TV land, streaming land, TikTok land, Instagram land, you name it, Facebook land, every one of you out there in the land, we need you to come and support the school. October the 1st, you be there in your ball outfit. Make sure you're on time. Get your photos taken. Get your silent auction going. You listen here, some of the things on the silent auction is unbelievable. You need to come and see. Bring your pocketbook, bring your checkbook, bring whatever you have. We can take care of all forms of cash.
So can we tell them yet where they'll be able to get tickets?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
tell them where they can get tickets.
You can get tickets at, we have a flyer posted, but we get you a ticket. I have tickets at 808-1797. Just give me a call. And I'll get you some tickets. I believe that my phone is ringing, and so but I believe that's an alumni business. But that's the way. That's what's happening recently with my phone. It's been ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
And so I want to say thank you to all of you listening here and watching here today. Please support your school. We need you. The school needs you. And we're hoping that when we do a general walkthrough of the school, that all the alumnus from all divides will join us on that day and support the school. Come on down. Come on down to your school. Come on down.
Okay, and by the way, congratulations to Dr. Hunter, because he is now president, is it, of the school board. I mean, how major is that? President of the school board of CC Sweden. So you can see that he's all and he's sold out in an effort to really make the school of choice. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to become the public school of choice in this country because of the work that each and every one of us have been doing as alumnus over the years, as well as David Williams, another alumnus who's serving on that board, and some others, Ingrid Bain. And so listen, these people are really putting in time and effort to help to solidify what we already know to be true, that this is an institution that is worthy to be celebrated and to be recognized. And we're proud to be alumnus of the school. I'm going to let you leave and then call in our president of the alumni right now to come on in.
Can I just allow them to say one thing? Mm-hmm. For those of you out there who are watching and stuff like that, we need your photos. Because one of the things we want to do is at this ball is we want to highlight as much of the photos of the school year through photos. Maybe a short 3 to 5 multimedia thing. Those of you who have your yearbooks, go and scan them properly and send them to me. All right. Call me at 808-1797 so that you can know how to send them. Okay. 808-1797. Email Bahamas Samuel, BAHAMASAMUEL.
Say the phone number again. You over the fast. I'm trying to type.
808 1797.
808-1797.
Call that, and I'll call that, and I will send you my email link, and you could send me. The more photos you send me, the merrier. But we want to have a portrait of photos from each year, hopefully, or each what you call it?
Each
10-year period.
Each class, yeah. Or the decade.
Right, the decade. Hopefully that we can get those in there, because they're from the 70s, from the 80s, from the 90s, and things like that. I'm excited. I want you to be excited. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're now, let me just read these comments as we transition. Anella Fox comes in. This again is from Clarence Russell. I'm also recommending that a wall of fame is erected at CC Sweden campus for all famous alumni, all famous, who attended CC Sweden, with their photos displayed, positions held, and extend an invitation to such persons to motivate and encourage the students. Well, they can start by just becoming a part of the alumni, because I don't believe it takes a special invitation to want to come back and to contribute to the school. So they can start by becoming a member of the alumni. But I think that's a wonderful idea, Mr. Russell, to establish this Hall of Fame. Thank you for your support throughout the day. Once again, we'll be here every Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Leading up to October 1st, so that we can speak to as many persons as possible to get involved in the alumni. The banquet is just one event, but the alumni exist, and we exist to help to serve the students of the school. And I want to put emphasis on that, the students of the school.
So I have to come a little closer.
I want to see your face. Okay. Wonderfulness. Annette Roll, thank you for tuning in, class of 78. Your prom was at Paradise Island, and the music was provided by Sweet Exorcist, a top band at the time, 1978. Thank you for tuning in. Annette Roll. Hey, Basil, good to have you on board. Obtain email addresses of all alumni. Listen, alumni, we can't do it all. You need to reach out. We don't know who you are, but connect with Dr. Hunt, introducing you to the president of our alumni right now, Nelda Fox. Good afternoon. It's good to see you. Listen.
Good afternoon, Miranda. Listen, before you start, the sun is hot.
Yes, it is.
The sun is hot. And I was like, oh, only because of my school. I have to love this school. Because to come up in that heat, yeah.
I'm so glad to be the air conditioner. I'm telling you. So listen, Nelda, you've been serving as president for what? The past what? Three,
Past
4
4
years?
years.
4 years. Okay. And it's been, by the way, each class over the years, most classes, to my recollection, they've been having singular events in attracting people from their class, whether it's 78, 75, 82, whatever the years are. But Dr. Deborah Newbirth, I got to say a shout out to Dr. Deb wherever she is. People like Kinson Delaveau, they were the ones who came together with this idea that we should have an overall alumni where we will pull people from all of the various classes together, unite our efforts to do something significant for the school. So Deborah Newbirth, Kinson Delaveau, I think it's Simeon, I can't remember his last name, but Cyril Sands, and quite a number of them came together from different classes and said, hey, let's put this together. So Dr. Deborah Newbirth was actually the very first president of our United Alumni, and then many of us came on board to join her. Nelda since took over the helm from Dr. Newbirth. So Nelda, tell us a little bit about some of the things that during your tenure, the alumni has done for the school.
Wow. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. I know that you're interested in what we are doing and have been doing for the school. About 5 years ago, I came back from the States, and I always wanted to know what is going on. What is going on with CC Sweeting? Have we had a ball as yet? Do we have meetings to reunite some of our persons who have not seen each other for years? And we started the alumni class of 83, and I was elected after Bridget had resigned, 83 president. During that tender, we had raised funds for the school in the way of giving back, doing back to school giveaways. We did our teachers appreciation.
Hello.
Mr. Archer, listen, look who's here.
Yeah, so
Our teachers appreciation luncheon. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is giving back to our school. During that time, I was elected. Dr. Newbirth had retired from the overall president, and I had a call with her and her executives, and I spoke to our class of 83 executives, let them know what was offered. I knew it was a lot more responsibility, but I live for that. I live for community building, giving back, especially to our kids. And so I took on the role as the overall president. In that time, we have partnered with a nonprofit organization, which is a technical institute, Rootnell Technical Institute, located in Freeport, Grand Bahama. 2 years ago, I spoke with the then principal, Mrs. Gray, and of course also the administration for the student counselor, and we got four students, but we only could do 3 because it was out of our pocket. So we raised funds to send these 3 students to a technical program. Now I'm going to explain why we did that.
because I don't want to hold Mr. Archer up.
Okay. So you want to get Mr. Archer
Yeah,
in?
let's get Mr. Archer
Mr. Archer, come
in.
in before I start talking.
Because she's going to talk.
Yes.
But no, just
You want me to
let's
come?
switch chairs. No,
Okay,
I want
we switch chairs, yeah?
Yeah, because the camera's only so wide. So we have His Excellency A. Leonard Archer here with us, who is a former principal of the school. I am Miranda, and of course, head girl, class of 82. And we are so delighted to have you with us, sir, because for us, many of us, you were the epitome of what a headmaster would be. We respected you. We respected your intelligence. We knew that you were a no-nonsense leader, and we looked up to you as students. And so those of us I guess, kind of revered you in essence, because we knew that Mr. Archer was about education. Your walk, with your aura, the way you carried yourself, sir, it denoted, I guess, royalty. And look where you ended up. This is excellency. So let's go imagine that. But tell us about, first of all, why did you enter education? I want to start there, and then becoming principal at CC Street.
Well, it started a long time ago. I was actually a monitor at age 14.
Oh, and where did you go to school? Nassau or Family Island?
Family Islands.
Okay, which one?
Cooperstown.
Oh,
I started at Cooperstown, and then I finished it at Marsh Harbor. My father was the principal of the school at Cooperstown. And of course, I was 14. Of course, I was with my father, and in those days, this is a long time ago. There was basically only one trained teacher in the school, and all of the other teachers were monitors, the senior students who were basically the ones who had passed school living certificate or something like that. I passed my school living certificate and I was made a monitor. And then
What was the role of a monitor for those who don't?
well, basically, it was a classroom. We did, we weren't trained to do anything, but we stood in front of the class and we did the best we could,
Okay.
teaching the youngsters, say the grade ones, grade twos, which was the first grade of primary school, and we did what we could to educate them. And then, as I say, I went on when I did my junior certificate, senior certificate, I made teachers along the way, and then I went off to England to become a formally trained teacher.
Did you ever consider another career, or it was always education for you?
It was always education. Back in the 50s and 60s, there weren't many
Other
other areas available,
Right.
particularly growing up in the islands, right? So I went off to England in 1960 and to Bristol and did my 3-year professional teacher's course there, and then came back and went to. I spent a term at Donald Davis, and then I was posted to Bite School in Cal Island, and then of course to the Swain School in Mangrove Key.
So you've been around the islands teaching before you landed, because I want to get to
Yes.
when you got around the islands teaching. So you were at what grade level?
Well, I was principal
Of all those schools?
Those days you went as principal.
Oh,
And then in 1968, I went to the University of West Indies in Jamaica. When I was graduating in 71, there was an announcement in the press about a new senior high school. The government was decided that the traditional school that was in there, they wanted something different, a senior school, and it was advertised that all the students would be would come in from the ninth grade. They would be, therefore, the school would be for grades 10, 11, and 12. That's the senior high school. And they wanted something that was different.
different in what way?
Well, it's basically the traditional school. Traditional school was simply teaching academics.
Oh, okay.
And they wanted something that was different. And so I saw the advertisement. I applied for the job, and got it. And so I was.
So when you got the job as principal of this brand new institution, what were some of the things that you had in mind? Like, what what's my goal? What am I going to do first?
Well, what we did was we looked at the work permits that were being offered or applied for, and said, well, therefore, these are the areas where employment is going to be possible, right? Because one of the things we were doing was preparing the students for eventually become.
So that's where the whole hospitality business.
So we had four sections. We had the academic section, we had the hotel catering section, we had the performing arts section, and technical vocational section. And after the first year, after grade 9, the students were allowed to choose which of those sections they wanted to be in. And I think this was part of the reason I think we were successful, because students were doing what they wanted to do.
Yes.
As opposed to being told you have to do this. And I think we turned out some good students.
How long did you stay here?
11 years.
Okay, because we graduated in 82. You were still here.
That was my last year.
Oh, okay. So you left with us, the good ones. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the end, after opening the school and watching its growth and development over those 11 years, when you left, was that kind of bittersweet?
It was. I didn't want to leave. I threatened to resign, actually, rather than be transferred.
Mm-hmm.
But wiser heads prevailed and said, no, take the transfer.
Did you go to another school?
R.M. Bailey.
Oh, okay.
And I was at R.M. Bailey for 1 year. And they said they retired me, but
they say they retired me. There's some kind of cynicism in there somewhere.
Actually fired me.
Now, what I recall from our class of 82, I remember us having a graduation, but we didn't get diplomas. Why not? Do you remember?
No, I
We walked out with nothing. Like to this day, we just say we went to CC's meeting.
Did I?
You were the principal. But that year, I remember that the teachers were having some kind of strike. And some stuff was going on.
Yeah. But that shouldn't have affected.
Our getting the diploma.
Because we each year we have them
I
made
don't know why
up.
we didn't get one. Strangest thing, we didn't. I always felt some kind of way about that.
Unless
Almost like the last minute,
No, I mean, we had a prom, we had a graduation, but we did not get a diploma.
unless the ministry told us not to do it.
And yeah, that's correct.
Because I can't think of any reason why. Because we did this a natural course. We had the certificates printed.
Okay, so while I have you, let me ask you this. What do you think about the way the educational system is going today?
I'm not sure. I've not followed it all that closely.
Okay.
So, and it's difficult to to talk about things that you haven't really followed that closely. But I think the people are doing the best they can. There needs to be perhaps more focus on the end product.
If you had an opportunity for a do-over as you reflect on your career, would you do anything differently, or you're pretty satisfied that you played the cards in your hand the best you could?
Well, I think I did the best I could, yes. And I was, I chose to be I chose to do teaching, and I was quite happy with with what was achieved. I think during the time I was in charge of the schools. I can't think of anything now that I would have done differently. I think we we did the best we could in the situation that we were in.
Awesome. So, just in our final moments, appeal to former students and stuff to attend the banquet on October 1st.
Well, my concern, believe it or not, is for the young men in this society. Um, I think that so far this year we had 91 murders,
Oh, yeah.
and I would imagine 80, 80, 85, 90 of those are young men. There's been the odd child who, unfortunately, but the majority of people who kill are young men, and the more people who get killed are young men.
Yeah.
Society needs to do something about that. Yeah, they got to try and find out what is causing it, and because you see, the young ladies need partners.
Oh, for sure. Like I'm still single. Right. I'm still waiting for somebody.
The young men are
Definitely.
killing each other.
Yes, you're so right, sir. So right.
The whole concept of family needs to be looked at, and this is something that when I spoke to the former students a couple of years ago, I said to them, they were mainly men. I said, you need to at least mentor the students in the school,
Yes.
right?
Great.
You don't have a lot of money to give them, and money isn't all that important. But if you spend some time with them, you've made a success of your life. So go and show them what a successful male is,
Yes.
and how to become a successful male, so that they don't become involved in gangs and have to resort to killing and that sort of thing.
Okay, let me just read one comment from Clarence Russell.
Okay.
He said, say hello to my best headmaster, His Excellency A. Leonard Archer, who got marooned with me and the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions in Bermuda. It was during a hurricane, and we made the best of that memorable experience. So he wanted to say hello to you. Okay, so Mr. Archer, thank you so much for spending this time for us. And we're looking forward to celebrating with you on October 1st at the Super Club Regis.
That's going to be difficult. My wife is in Florida, and it would be difficult for me to leave her alone. Yeah.
Understood. Well, we definitely salute you, sir. We celebrate you, and we thank you for the impact that you've had in all of our lives. Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
I'm glad I was able to.
Okay, who's next? Come. Thank you so much, Mr. Archer. See you soon. God bless. So we're who's next? Come, because so many you guys have heard all the noise going on in the background. That's people are beginning to fill the room, and they forget that we're doing a live show. So I'm saying to everybody, if you can keep the noise down, you're too loud, be loud. We're live, guys, but this what happens in live situations. Hi, Gina Smith. It was our punishment. Oh, that's what they said. Okay, you are you talking about why we didn't get diplomas? Because I never understood why we didn't get diplomas. I really don't understand. But come, who's next? Come, yeah. And so we are so happy. Can you guys please keep the noise down? You're too loud. You're too loud. Okay, good afternoon.
How you doing, Miranda?
Listen, I've not seen you since 1982.
You're correct. I need heard from you in the job.
I've not seen you. It's good to see you. Congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's good to see you.
So, of course, we're celebrating 50 years of I call it excellence in education here at the school. Ourselves being of the class of 82. And we are super excited about being a part of this whole walk down memory lane. And so that's what I've been doing over the past hour, talking to people. So I want you to tell me what are some of your fondest memories about being a student?
Yeah, wow. I must say, to God be the glory, great things. He is done. 50 years, wow, thank God for life. But just driving through the gates a few minutes ago and entering, went back right to my childhood as a young boy.
40 years.
40 years.
Get this. 40 years ago,
Exactly.
we entered this
40,
campus.
40 years is correct.
So before you go on, let me stop right there. 40 years ago, reflect on what it felt like for the first time as a kid coming out of junior high, walking in on this campus.
Yes, you know, during that time, I had two brothers who were seniors at that time, Errol and Clifton, and most of you should know them. They were seniors at that time at CC Sweden, and it was two campuses. You had the old and the new campus.
Yeah, that's what we called it.
Yes, the old and the new campus, and walking through that door and the face at the new campus, and it was very exciting after coming from H.O. Nash into CC Sweden, and we really fit right in. And as we moved through the years and going into the 12th grade, and it always was a trade that you picked up, and I got into catering.
Oh,
I
that's
was
what
with,
you
I was
did.
I was with Mr. Joe Blyden, who was our teacher
Oh, okay.
during that time, and you know that I used to run track and field, and I represented the school in school sports, and I was really close with people like Tom Grant and Mother Pratt. And Tom Grant was my coach during that time, and I could recall even after I completed the 12th grade and graduated and went into the police college. I would just go speed fast track. Going into the police college, I could recall Mother Pratt and Tom Grant coming to the college then, just as I signed my 1-year contract and indicated to me that they have secured a scholarship for me in North Carolina. And it was during that time that the commandant then, who was Mr. Hepburn, Kemuel Hepburn, said to them that I had already signed my 1-year contract and I can't move until that has been completed.
Wow.
And even after that 1 year was up, I was so into the police force, I decided that I would forego that.
You would have been there with us because
Yes.
we went in 82 to St. Aug.
Yes.
That's where we went. So
Yes.
let's get down to take off the commissioner hat and let's talk about walking on campus, fondest memories, what was happening.
Well, it was during that time. My class was situated on what we call now, where we are now, the old campus. And I recall you and your team with Hubert, Sherry Clinton,
Yeah,
and all of
that's
them,
us.
and Brown and all of them. Your class was always
Upstairs,
on
new campus,
the new
upstairs.
campus. And most of us came from H.O. Nash.
Right.
So we still had that relationship. So I can recall every time we take break and lunch, I always leave the old campus and we would rendezvous there.
Yeah.
And
That was the place to be.
That was the hangout. That was the hangout
Yes.
spot.
Yes.
That was the hangout
Yes.
spot there. And we always will meet there, and even upstairs to your classroom, we always come and we hang. And man, we had some sharp individuals like yourself and many others.
Many others.
In CC Sweden. And you know, during that time, you used to hear a lot of whisper that the big dollhouse.
Yeah,
and-
we came in with that, but we
Yes.
shattered that.
And we
that
showed them
relationship.
that. We showed the baby people and
Yeah.
the rest of the students from other schools during that time that, look here, some good is in CC Sweden.
Right
And I'm
here.
talking, but not only from athletic, but academic.
Yes.
He was at that level and was competing across the board
Absolutely.
and shining during that time.
When you joined the force, did you see yourself in this chair?
No, during that time, when I joined, I always wanted to be a detective and to be in charge of the criminal investigation department. I got to that level because I lived in Baytown. I grew up in Baytown. I born in St. Salvador, but grew up in Baytown. During that time, you know, you had a lot of little mischievous young men, would I say. And I could recall people like a Basil Lane, people like a Guard Johnson, people like a Douglas Hanna. These are senior police officers who was no nonsense when it comes to crime. And I used to watch them converse in the Bantang area and locking up young people. I always used to say I wanted to be just like them.
Okay, okay.
And eventually, when I left school, I remember walking my last day in school, myself along with Trevor Lockhart and a few others. We walked from school to the police college here on JFK, and all of us took the exams together.
Wow, did all of you end up on the force?
All of us, Trevor and Ferguson, I can't remember his last name. Maybe you could recall, tall, slim individual, and even Moss, who eventually joined the police band. It was four of us, or even maybe more. And eventually we passed and we were called in because all of us were squad mates during that time. So I came in and eventually I went into CID and it's history. I was able to.
Now you are the man, as they say. You can you recall a favorite teacher?
Mr. Joe Blyden, he was my mentor.
Yeah.
And you had Miss Johnson, part of catering, Mr. Sanville.
Mr. Seville or Spanish, right?
Mr. Seville. And these was, oh man, they were mentors. They were like parents to us. They show us love and always giving us positive initiatives and to steer us in the right direction. And I think they did just that. When you look at what is happening now and back then, man, it's totally different. You find students now, they want to fight the teachers and all of that. That's a no-no.
Right.
But back then, the teachers was always there for us. Everybody come together and look out for us, and nobody left behind. Everybody was pulling each other up as we move.
Yes. Awesomeness. So let's see. What else do I want to say to you? What are you expecting, or what would you like your legacy to be? That's what I want to see. Your legacy to be as you, for however long you remain, whether you're a commissioner or not, as a man who's made a contribution to society. What does Clayton Fernando want his legacy to
Well,
be?
you know that I came from humble beginnings. My family didn't have much. I want my legacy to be, I'm a crime fighter. In 2013, I was shot in the line of duty. And thank God I was able to survive that. And I always say I believe that the good Lord kept me for two reasons. And the first reason is to get closer to Him. And the second reason is to continue this fight with crime. And that's what I'm doing at this time. But my legacy, what I would want to see, to assist with this crime fight, to bring this crime fight at a low, and to assist in steering the young people in the right direction and to move away from the life of crime, because we are losing our young generation on both sides of the court as victims and also as accused persons. So I want my legacy to say that Fernando did his part in saving or securing this country, and even by extension our borders, to ensure that the Bahamian people and visitors who come to our shores they are safe.
Great. Awesomeness. Listen, well, we're so very proud of you, and we look forward to celebrating with you on October 1st.
Sure, and I really do appreciate all of you, the excellent initiative that you're doing and trying to keep everybody together, everybody in tune. And I know that we are reaching out to each other and helping them in whatever which way and to do that. And I'm on board. I want the world to know that I'm on board, and whatever support and assistance that you need, please feel free to reach out.
Awesomeness. So you've just heard from the Commissioner of Police, Royal Bahamas Police Force in the Bahamas, Clayton Fernando, my fellow classmate from the class of 82. We are so very proud of him doing wonderful things. And let's see if I see any comments. And Gene Smith, hi. She's been making a whole lot of comments. Oh, that's Clarence Russell saying, tell the folks in the back to be quiet. Okay, but thanks for tuning in, Gina. Hotel math. That's what they said. Oh, we were talking about. Do you know why we didn't get diplomas?
I don't know.
And I
I
asked
think
Mr. Archer, and he said he don't know.
yeah, there was something going on that time,
It
and
was
they had
strike.
stopped.
I
Yes.
remember it was like a teacher strike and something.
Yes, something. But I remember there was an individual, there was a student, I think he was ahead of us. He's a Dibbs. Remember there was
Oh,
a strike
yes,
and
Dennis
yes,
Days.
yes, and then he, went on the way to Bay Street and something happened during that period. We never got the clue, is correct.
I told the sergeant, like, so we walked out just
But
like
I
thanks for coming.
remember the graduation was over at Paradise Island.
Yeah, because I
at
spoke
Holiday
at
Inn.
it. I remember
Yes,
that. That was
at
like my
At
highlight.
Holiday Inn. And back then I remember Sherry Clinton, there was
That's
the
my girl.
Coakley chap, and uh, the other young lady used to play softball. I have a clipping where we receive awards for the top athletes of CCC
Yeah,
during that
okay,
time.
okay.
And I really
You
need
have
to
to.
find that.
You
I
need
really
to, because
find
we
that
need
and
to.
put
We
that in
need to
there.
highlight that in the booklet.
Yes,
This
yes,
for
yes, yes.
for the banquet.
Yeah.
So Sherry went on, of course, to be an awesome investment banker. She was at Citibank for many years. Retired early, and now she's doing real estate. So she and I are still very close.
Okay. I
Doing very well.
recall as well the very last day. And back then you used to write on your shirt.
Yeah.
I remember Sherry writing in the back, "You are one terrific guy," and it was big and bold, and I never forget that.
That's awesome.
Because
That's awesome.
the relationship we had, she lived right in Chippenham.
Yeah.
You lived right there.
Chippenham,
we was
Quarry
right in
Mission.
that Curry Mission Road area.
So she's definitely going to be at the banquet for sure. So I'm calling in everybody that's been connected to me because I'm in Texas now, so I don't live here.
Excellent.
But I had to be a part. I have the privilege of being able to work remotely, so that's why I'm here. I'm definitely getting involved with whatever I can do.
Okay,
So
but
we look
we
forward
do
to
appreciate that, and trust me, the initiative is good, and based on what is going on in our country. Again, as I say, with these kids and the school, I like this partnership
Yes.
to assist wherever possible.
And that's what it's all about. We want to be able to pour into these kids and create opportunities for them that we didn't get.
Yes,
And that's why we're here. So thank you.
I
It's good
support
to
that.
see you.
Thank you very much.
See you soon.
Okay, good.
Bye-bye.
Take care
Okay.
now. Call
Dr.
me.
King, I will. Dr. King, hi. So we just finished talking to the Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernando, and of course, we are looking forward to celebrating with him on October 1st, our 50th anniversary banquet of the school at Super Club Breezes. We look forward to celebrating with all of them. Those of you who are alumni and you don't have tickets yet, please connect with Andrew Hunter, Nelda Fox, David. Hey, David. Hey, Dave. Good to see you. Transforming. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Good to see you. So please connect with any one of them, and we'll be able to get some tickets. Okay, so hi, Commodore. Officially welcome. First time meeting you.
It's indeed a pleasure.
First time meeting you. So excited to have you on board. So we're celebrating all things Cobra from now until October 1st for sure in commemoration of the 50th anniversary. I'm definitely super excited and proud of the strides that you've made as an individual and a graduate of the school. So I'm going to ask you what I asked Clayton. When you joined the Defense Force, did you see yourself sitting in the chair where you are now?
To be very honest, when I joined, I just wanted to serve and serve my country. The incentive for me joining the Defense Force
started from in 1981
Okay.
while I was at HNH. It was not actually 1980 when I was in grade 8. That was when the incident with HMBS Flamingo,
Oh,
the crew had been making
yes.
aircrafts when the vessel was lost and 4 of the Marines died. And I was also influenced by I had an uncle who was 5 years my senior, but he was employed with the Defense Force. So that influenced me as well. But that incident, I made my decision that that is the correct routine.
So that didn't scare you.
No.
That motivated you.
Not at all. And many times in school, for the remainder of my time at H.O. Nash, I left in 81, came at CC Sweeting in 82 and still 84. I found myself daydreaming and sketching ships and
Really?
persons with their caps on.
Interesting.
And so for me, it was really just to serve into the fun. Now, once I had entered the service as a young mechanic, I looked around, I started to weigh my options. I said, I think this is going to be my career. It's going to be my career. And if it's going to be my career, I want to serve at the highest level possible.
Absolutely.
And so that was when I envisioned becoming an officer, a commissioned officer. And believe it or not, when I applied, I knew I wasn't fully qualified because it required 5 GCEO levels,
Okay.
inclusive of math and English. Saying about it. But I had history, I had all of the sciences, biology, chemistry, I had those. Because my 3 years at CC Sweeting was during the years of the strike that run in Montclair.
Oh, I
And,
thought that was in the 70s. Was it the
and,
90s?
and back, that was in
80s?
80s, right? And that affected our class and our cohort significantly, particularly for the math and English classes. So I remembered every time we had a new teacher. And so
And you were here from,
82 to 84.
so you came in when we left.
Right.
Okay.
And so we were retarded to some extent. The reason why we were able to successfully pass the other subjects because they were teachers who came from the Caribbean. So they couldn't have participated in the strike. And
Right.
we had 1 or 2 loyal Bahamian teachers like Mr. Johnson who taught us biology, who wasn't a
I
part.
remember Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I knew I wasn't fully qualified, but I liked the weight of the subjects that I had. And so I went before the board. I wasn't successful. And I could remember my letter stating your bid for the international midshipman course was unsuccessful. But what it did, that motivated me because I knew it was already in me from HNH.
Right.
If we had stayed at HNH another year or 2, we probably could have passed our GCEs. That was how far ahead we were from HNH.
Okay.
And I remember one of our teachers in particular, Miss Headley, who taught us math. She cried when we left in 81 because she was saying, if I had this class for 1 year. But I came back and I took evening classes here at CCSP. And within that 3-month period, I was able to pass the Pitmans, the RSAs, the GCO level in English and math within 3 months' work. And I reapplied. I was successful. And so during my preparatory training we were sent off to England, the Britannia Royal Naval College. I remember the training commander at the time. He asked all of us, because it was 4 of us who were preparing to leave, what our career goals were. And without thinking, I told him to be the commander of the Defense Force.
So you spoke it.
And he looked at me and told me,
Bold.
go away. When I'm serious about a response, return to him. So I
Take you
went away
seriously.
and I went back and I said the commander of the Defense Force. And he said, you can be serious. I said, yes, sir.
So you spoke your position into existence. That's obviously the record reflects that. So let's get back to student at CC Speaking. Obviously, you came from HO Nash. What do you recall your first day on campus? What did that feel like?
I was excited to be entering senior high school. Evidently, in those days, you wanted time to move quickly because you wanted to be the senior class.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you get older, then you try to slow it down. Like older now, time is
Moving too fast.
moving too fast. And so, in particular, I was very excited. I was a member of the fine arts class.
That would have been what subjects?
That was the only difference between that program and the straight GC program is that instead of me doing a foreign language, I did art.
Okay.
But all of our classes were integrated
Academic.
academically with the math, English, and everything. And that was something I enjoyed. But for some reason, I never had a knack for foreign language. I always shy from foreign language.
So did you do Spanish? Oh, you didn't have to do
I
Spanish.
did Spanish in grade, I was in grade 9.
Oh, but not at CC3.
No,
Oh, okay. Because you missed out. Mr. Seville was the best Spanish teacher ever.
And I met him just recently.
He is awesome.
I met
Yeah.
him recently and
So
we spoke
impactful.
and we weekend. But I was excited to come here. I was excited in the stream. There was a cohort that I was a part of at HMH. Some of our classmates would have been to come behind. Those who were more athletically inclined, because GHS was pulling the athletically inclined person. So the rest of us came here and we were already a competitive group from HMH. And so we met persons who would have come from TG Global,
Right.
the more academic inclined persons from that era. And so being in the classroom, we were already used to that competitiveness, a healthy competitiveness, of being the best you can be in all of the subjects and everything you do. But believe it or not, my fondest memory, CC Sweeney during that 3-year period. I always came to school late
Why?
because I had to sell my newspapers before I came to school.
So how early did you start out in the morning?
From the age of 6 years, my grandmother, she read me. She taught me how to sell newspapers. And that is what I did to sustain myself throughout my life, up until I graduated from CC Suite in 84. 2:33 a.m. I was on my way to the Nassau Valley.
Walking?
So
Where do you live? Where did you live?
Big Corn subdivision. So it was right around the corner, but I had to navigate across the sports center, which would have had some criminal activities and some other things going on. And I would leave home and just sprint the whole way. But once I would have cleared the sports center and I made it as far as where McDonald's was, I stopped running because I could catch a breather then before I reached the Nassau Guardian. Eventually, I was able to purchase my bicycle and I put my crate to
But you
hold my
did this
newspapers.
every morning as a student.
I did that, and then many mornings, I was so reliable and committed to it, customers would come to my location, which was at the junction of Blue Road and Wolf Road, west of St. Barbara's Church. I sold my Guardian right there, and I did that faithfully. And I did that, and many times I ran home with my certificates and other stuff. My grandmother would ask me, when did this happen? And I paid for all my exams from selling newspapers. I paid for all my uniforms to sustain myself. I grew up with my uncle and aunts. And oftentimes they would remind you, you're not our brother. You're the nephew, so know your place. Right? And so I often came late, and in the evenings I would go to the Tribune on
Sell
Shirley Street,
papers
and
there
I
too?
sold my Tribune, and then I would go home, rest for about an hour. Then I would do all my studies. For
That's
all
what I
my
was about to say.
exams.
How did you balance all of that and still manage to maintain obviously good grades throughout high school and still sell papers at the night? When did you rest?
Honestly, I still ask myself that today, but to get up at 2:33 a.m. is already ingrained in me. And so I can survive off 3 to 4 hours rest. I now, in my position, I would probably get an afternoon nap, some 2 hours between 3 and 5 p.m. And I get up and read all of my intelligence reports and everything and so forth.
Wow.
But
It's a discipline.
it was something I've done from then. And so eventually I became a prefect and I was in grade 12. They realized I simply couldn't get to school. I would come a few minutes late, but I realized I had to wake a bit up. But I sustained myself.
So when you said you came to school late every day, like what time roundabout?
It used to be like 9:15, probably 9:20 the latest. But the thing is, I was there on time.
So did they anybody ask you at any point, why are you always late?
They knew because I told them I had to sell my newspapers. Now, I had a choice to make on many occasions. Some mornings the newspaper sold very, very quickly.
Mhm.
And then I would go and get a second set. And that is when I got into brand.
Okay. No, all right. No, I'm taking back all of that. Like, I'm feeling a little sad. No, you went back for more. You was greedy. You were greedy. That's what happened. Okay, I get it.
But I had to do what I had to do to sustain myself
Sure.
and to take it.
Yeah. So, you remember having a favorite teacher?
Yes, I had several. Well, evidently, my homeroom teacher was Paige. She was our art teacher. She was our homeroom teacher. And I'm grateful for her. She had us to the point that I was able to pass that particular GC from grade 11. And so during grade 12, I just focused on the other subjects. The other teacher was Miss Ash, who taught us art.
Okay.
I remember her fondly. I remember Mr. McCarty, who taught us English for a few periods. Mr. Johnson, the biology teacher.
Biology.
I remember him. And my favorite, Miss Benedict, who taught us history.
Oh, see, we didn't have to do history because we were in business. So I don't even know any of those people other than biology. I definitely had to do bio. Let me just read some comments. Let's see what's happening. Oh, so David is here. He said he's watching from the airport. Dorcas says, I salute you, fine gentlemen. And Clarence Russell says, both Commodore King and Commissioner Fernando were my proteges.
Yes.
Great national treasures in our great nation. I commend all C.C. Sweeting alumni for their great contribution to the growth and development of our country. Hoorah, yes.
And I must say, Director Russell, he has served to the highest level.
Definitely.
In several capacities.
I learned
He was
his
the passport director.
portfolio
He was the
today.
Yes, and the director of innovation. And I was able to work with him for a period, and I learned much lessons from him.
Awesomeness. So when you think about favorite teachers, think about, did you ever get in any trouble?
I was never a troublemaker. For some reason, I
They're
was
not
al-
even sneaky on
No,
the
I was
side, sneak out the
always-
gate,
no.
lunchtime.
I was
Nothing.
always that one student who obeyed the rules.
So you were boring.
Yeah, I stayed to myself. Was
I
in my
like me.
books and so forth. But I fondly remember while I was at H.O.Nash, remember science teacher, Miss Curry. And I sat in the back of the class, one or two of my classmates, and I remember Troy Bodie was one of those, my good friend. They chuckled in the back, and I didn't have any idea what it was about. So she only looked in the back of the class. All of you go to the office. So now I'm on this line going to the office to meet Mr. Newbold. I'm trying to negotiate with Mr. Newbold that I don't know why I'm here. And this time he's getting ready to tie up my pants. And I said, I don't know why I'm here. And he told me be quiet. So I got a good lash and I said, Lord, I got beaten. And so we're on our way walking back to the class. Troy Boditos started chuckling about a joke again in Miss Curry. You only heard the voice through the window go back to the office.
Oh my, again?
Wow. So we went back.
Another set of
a
lashes.
second set of lashes. And I saw him many years later and I said, you beat me when I didn't deserve that job.
Twice.
Right? And I said, now I have the strength. He said, but I made you a better man.
That's funny.
But
That's
that was
funny.
the only time,
I got a beating one time. I was head girl. I got a beating. It was the most embarrassing thing, but it was the
Wow.
entire class.
Yes.
For something crazy stuff that somebody did. I was just so
And
hurt.
they just catch everybody as a group.
Yes. And I'm like, why am I getting beat? Like, I
Yes.
didn't do anything, but we get caught up in
Yeah.
those kinds of
Mhm.
moments. As you've ascended to the highest office in your profession, what would you say now to people coming behind you in terms of work ethic? Should that be a goal that they set, or should they wait for happenstance? In your case, you spoke it into existence, whether you really knew the power of what you were saying at the time or not, but you did that. And obviously it followed you and you put the work in.
Yeah.
So what would you say to other people?
My advice would be from several perspectives. One, it's a calling. Uh, it's a career. The military is a profession and a profession of arms. And we have a number of persons who join the institution considering it to be a job. In the Defense Force right now, we basically have 4 generational cohorts. And I've stressed to the leaders and the leadership in the organization is that in terms of applying your leadership and managerial skills, you have to take into account the values, the beliefs, the work ethics of those respective generational cohorts in order to be effective. But first and foremost, you must be loyal, profound loyalty. You must be dedicated. You must be committed. You must be resilient and you must be perseverant. And you must be passionate about this thing. That is why it was so difficult for some leaders during my 36 years in the service to demotivate me because I enjoyed doing what I did. It was a passion. It was a joy. Bless you. And it was a joy to do what I'm doing to you. When they thought they were trying to...
Can I get some water? I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. Thank you.
I'll give you a moment.
Okay. Oh, you keep talking because we live.
All right. And so,
Mind me.
while you think that you were demotivating Commodore King, you did nothing but inspire King.
Let's talk about that. Being demotivated along the way, because of course nobody just has a smooth. Nobody takes the escalator to the top. You have to climb stairs. Were there any moments when you felt like, you know what? I want to go back to high school in particular. Having to wake up every morning, sell the papers, all that stuff. Were there only any moments when you felt like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore?
Yes, there was one moment I remember. I think it was around 2015. It was around 20, maybe around 2013, 2014. And the leadership at the time, I was excluded, ostracized. Which you'll find it depends on who's the leader, whether things would work in your favor. And
You were ostracized because of personality issues or work
I felt
related?
I felt as though
Excuse me.
the leader or leaders then, anyone who they saw as being ambitious or who aspired and who had the capabilities of assuming right.
Got it.
So they were sought to limit you, exclude you, keep you out of decision making, which of course I learned eventually. There are some things that happen, and I give thanks to the Almighty that I was excluded. This is when the day of auditing comes and something is happening now.
You got to give an account.
King had nothing to do with it, right? But I was at that point, I commanded HMBS Nassau and HMBS Bahamas, because HMBS Bahamas was down for a period of time. And so when I would make the patrol on board Nassau, and when they come in, I would take HMBS crew on board HMBS Nassau. And when the promotion came, I remember that particular promotion. None of us who were in the squadron area got promoted. All of the commanders went to persons who were in administrative roles. So I said, well, okay, I think I see what's happening here. And cousin on my wife's side, Dr. Keith Tinker, he came and he said, listen, I can offer you something. I realized what they did to you, but I can offer you something. He was the director of the Antiquities Monuments Museum Corporation. And he encouraged me, and I went. I did the interview. I was accepted by the board to become the director.
But totally out of the scope of what you're trained to do.
Right. But that was one of the lowest points when I realized, hey, I'm fighting, I'm giving it my best, I'm giving it my all, and there were simply no rewards. And I realized sometimes you need to go out and come back in.
Yes.
And so I had seriously considered leaving the Defense Force to take up the directorship of the Antiquities Monuments Museum Corporation. And I sat back and I was advised by Kevin Tinker, Dr. Keith Tinker's brother. And he said, King, the learning curve would be too sharp because that's a completely different industry.
Exactly.
He said, have you considered becoming a port controller, which is a related industry, easier transition? And I said, okay, I'll give it some thought. So I went and I spoke with my wife, I spoke with Captain Sawyer, and they said, no, this is your career, survive it.
So you suck it up.
And I did. Because the one thing they couldn't take away from me was the experiences I had gained.
Yes. Yeah.
And so when the time came, and I was quickly elevated, the experience was there, so there's no panic.
When that call came or letter came that you're going to be appointed in that moment, what were you feeling?
Well, I had anticipated it 7 months ago. I was seconded as the port controller. The Prime Minister, David Minnis, sent for me, and we spoke. And he said, I'll get back to you. I was
Walking away from that meeting,
Right.
were you feeling confident or
Yes,
like,
I was.
don't
I
know?
was highly confident. Hey, this thing's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. Dream would be realized. I would have sent it. But then several months went by, nothing happened.
How you feeling in the waiting period?
I was like, okay, is this something adverse, or what are they waiting on? They don't think I was capable enough.
It's a whole myriad
Or
of
they may have
thoughts.
second guessed themselves. But I continued to serve faithfully as a port controller and did my piece. And it was unfortunately following Hurricane Dorian. It's when the government made the decision. I remember that Friday morning when the Prime Minister called, summons me to his office. And we spoke. And he said, the gentleman who's sitting outside the room who you walk past, that's your relief, giving your handover. On Monday, you return back to the Bahamas Defense Force as the Deputy Commander of Defense Force. I was excited. It was unreal, but that is when the reality struck. I was returning, and I would have been the second man in charge. And I was prepared to work along with Commodore Thomas Penn. Sincere. And to bear my knowledge and experience to turn things around, particularly which would have occurred at Abercrombie. And I was prepared to do that. And I gave the Prime Minister my commitment to it. And so it wasn't anything about politics, but getting the right person at that time to do the job that was needed to be done. And so I went home, my wife and I spoke about it. And I would say this to you. The only other time when the reality really struck me was when the drivers came to pick me up to take me to the airport. I was getting ready to go to Africa to do my assessment. And all of a sudden, now you're being chauffeured. You're sitting in the back. It's a lonely seat because you're in the back. The driver, there's no conversation.
And they talking to you
And you
because
have
you're
the
in charge.
and you have the security team following you. So that was when reality
It's like,
struck me.
whoa, this is really happening.
And when we had the handover, and the media came and bombarded me, it's like, okay, you're the man, are you giving a comment? And that is when the reality came in. And for me, since then, whenever we have to account to the Bahamian people, those public media interviews, particularly at the office of the Prime Minister, you realize you're speaking to the Bahamas, you're speaking the word. The Bahamian people want results and they want accountability.
Yes.
That is when the weight of the office becomes real. And so from time to time, there are certain events that remind you and you're able to sit back and relish in the whole experience of what you're going through. But I will tell you this. You're so engaged. You don't realize how quickly time goes. Late nights, early mornings, you don't realize how quickly. You're so engaged, you really don't have time to sit back and say, boy, I'm finally the Commander of the Defense Force. It's just so much weight of responsibility. and you don't have time to really relish too long.
Right. Because after every victory, something else gonna happen anyway.
We call it the waves, whatever.
Peaks and valleys.
They're right. There's a crest. There's a possibility of a trough before you get back to it.
Absolutely. So in these final moments, make an appeal to those who may be watching and see this later on, to invite them to come and celebrate with you at the ball on October 1st.
Yes, most certainly. I know many could have been in this position to be on it. We have worked hard as a committee, and it's only just begun. Many of you who are deserving, like ourselves, Commissioner and myself, along with myself and His Excellency Leonard Archer, we will continue to work. We will continue to persevere, and we will continue what we have started now in recognizing all of our persons who would have contributed to the success in building this nation and who are alumni from CC Sweeting. We will continue to work, and I implore you to come on board. Let's celebrate. It's our time. It's our time. I don't think you'll probably ever see in the history of this country again when you have the leaders of both armed services being former students of CC Sweeting. You may not see it ever in this lifetime. It's the privileged few, and those who would have attended private schools have predominantly held these positions. But we have shown the world that good and great things resided in, came from CC Sweeting, and the potential of more being realized in terms of positions of executive leadership in this country. So I implore you to come on board, celebrate with us, and continue, because the next celebration can be a number of you being recognized, duly recognized as nation builders.
And I got to say this. This is my first time actually meeting you, and meeting him, for those of you. But what I want to say is that even though I've been in Texas and behind the scenes, he has been really an integral part of everything. I've seen his name, I've heard his comments. He's been on once I saw one or two Zoom calls. He was there. I'm talking about actively involved, and that's what I admire about you. So let me say that to you.
Thank you.
That you've literally put your hands to the plow. That you've gotten it dirty, and you're working side by side with the executives and all the members of this committee. That in itself is admirable.
Thank you. I believe in successful. One is successful.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to celebrating you.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Okay. All right, this is my last one. Come on back, Madam President. Come on.
Thank you.
Who's this? Oh, come on, yeah. Come on down. No, it's everybody, whoever comes. That's the whole thing. It's a free for all. Yeah, we having a chat. Come.
Listen here, you keep assisting Madam President. Me and you do this together.
But we can't, no, I can't see her, so I only could do two at a time. So if you want her to go first or whatever.
No, listen. As the president, you go first.
We're on live
Don't
right
worry,
now.
it's
So
all right.
Commodore Annette Rose says the commander is funny, going back to purchase more newspapers after selling out, resulting in him arriving at school even later. I call it greedy. That's what I call it. So hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm well.
Introduce yourself. Come a little closer so we can
Sure.
see. So introduce yourself.
So my name is Tizel Lightborn. I am from the class of 2008.
Yay! We got the notes, yes. So tell us, so 2008, tell us about your time here at CC Sweeting.
So during my time at CC Sweden, I was a part of the track team.
Yeah.
I was a part of the track team. I was a prefect in grades 11 and 12, an honor student, and I was a part of the Teachers Cadets program. There were quite a few things I was part of, but I studied the business administration track while at CC Sweden Senior.
Did you consider yourself one of the popular kids?
No. I feel like I was able to mash in just moved
Because you
with
were
whoever.
athletic, and usually the athletes get the attention. That's not the way it goes anymore.
I mean, I feel like I'm friendly, so I'm able to adapt to whoever I'm around. So I didn't really consider myself a popular person. I can hang out with different groups of people and I mesh well. I just like harmony.
So, what are some of your fondest memories being here at the school?
This might sound funny, but just the idea of not adulting, to be honest.
I like that. I like
Because
that.
I don't know who told me to sign up for this. I mean, I'm doing well, but yeah, adulting is a lot.
I love that.
I need a refund on this for real.
Like, I can
But,
return the tables back.
No, but seriously, it was just being able to spend time with classmates and friends from different grades. So when I was in 10th grade, I felt blessed to be able to have friends from when I was in junior high and even primary school that I was able to spend time with from the 11th and 12th grade. So they helped me to orient to senior high school life very well. Going under the tree by the music department and just hanging out with friends there, being able to spend time with my homeroom class. I was in the T level, so 10, 11, and 12 T.
What does that mean? Because I don't think we had T's when I was there. That would be technical or what?
So they grouped classes, they grouped homerooms, and they spelled it out. CC Sweeting, so C1, C2,
Oh, that's
S1,
what they
S2.
said.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I don't think they had grouped by any particular thing, to be honest.
So you just ended up in T.
And my first name is Tizel, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I enjoyed my homeroom a lot. We had a lot of fun memories. We looked up each other, laughed with each other. It was a great time, to be honest. I miss it a lot. Like I said, I don't know
You
who told
want
me
this
to be an
adulting
adult.
thing?
Like,
Like, it's too much. It's adulting thing. So, did you have a favorite teachers?
My favorite teachers at the time was my homeroom teacher, I believe. I know she got married at some point, so I know her by Mrs. Johnson. She was my accounting teacher as well.
Okay.
There was. I feel.
Okay,
so
so
old.
Basil BJ said, T-Cell, that's my schoolie.
Oh, hey Basil, how you doing?
Go,
His
T-Cell.
wife is part of my class, Tyra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So favorite teachers?
So Mrs. Johnson, she was my accounting teacher. Miss Maya, she was my geography teacher. She really encouraged me to take the BGCSE in 11th grade. Mr. Monka, he was always really just positive to see.
Okay.
I don't think I ever actually took a class with him, but he just had a really positive spirit about him. There's an English teacher, I don't remember her name, but if I describe her, people would know. She's slim, she wore glasses, she's light skinned, and she just had a lot of charisma, and she was like, don't play with me, but I make sure you do your work and everything. Mr. Dorset, he was my art teacher as well. I enjoy classes with him.
So what do you do now?
So I am a communicable diseases consultant with the Pan American Health Organization.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the regional office for the World Health Organization. After I graduated from CC Sweden, I went and got my Bachelor of Science degree in biology from Philander Smith College. That's a historically Black college. And then I went on to the University of Arkansas for medical sciences and studied public health there.
She's smart, y'all. She's smart. That's all she said is she's smart.
Mr. Adley, let me go back. He was my chemistry teacher at the time. I wish I had taken the sciences more seriously here. And actually focus on that. But yeah, he was really encouraging, very positive. So yeah, I studied public health afterwards, and then just working at different non-government organizations and different public health organizations
So
in
this
the
whole COVID
U.S.
thing, you were really actively involved in the whole
And yeah, dealing with that
screening,
now.
doing whatever.
More
Okay.
like not from the clinical side,
Right.
just
Research.
preventative. And so that's what I deal with now, in addition to other communicable diseases
Thank you
like
for your service.
monkeypox. And yeah,
Anybody
it's a
who does
lot.
that. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, coming parting words, give a shout out to like your colleagues from class of 2008 or whatever, and encourage them, buy your tickets, come to the banquet October 1st, talk to them.
So I would like to shout out my class, the amazing class of 2008. I had told them that I wasn't gonna come on, but I just wanted to shine a light on them. I'm very proud of them.
Somebody had to represent,
Yeah,
so why
I'm
not?
very proud to be part of the class. Happy to be a product of CC Sweden. I feel like people have misconceptions about what students may look like from CC Sweden, but we produce amazing students, amazing Bahamians, and residents. So yeah, just encourage everyone to purchase a ticket and support so that we can continue to produce more amazing people.
Just like Tizelle, more amazing people like Tizelle. Tizelle, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you too.
Look forward to seeing you at the banquet and participating in any other alumni activities.
Yeah,
that
I'm
we have.
home. I'm home now, so
Good.
I'll be happy to support.
Yeah. Awesomeness. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
See you
Yeah.
soon. Okay. That was Tizelle, y'all. That was Tizelle bringing it home. She's behind the scenes trying to keep this country healthy, doing the research in the background and all the other stuff that they do at PAHO. And we are so happy that she came up on, and we celebrate the work that she's doing. Thanks for stopping by. By the way, remember, we're going to be here every Thursday at 1 o'clock. For whoever wants to come and take a walk down memory lane as we celebrate the 50th anniversary CC Sweeting Senior High School and all the wonderful people that have become alumni and taken their places in society and just doing so many amazing things. So we have Tizelle in the healthcare, medical, research, whatever they call it, profession, all of that stuff, and she's doing very, very well. And so back to our president, Ms. Nelda Fox, who is an entrepreneur, entertainer, politician, mother, wife, sister, auntie, all points in between, but just such a wonderful spirit. So now let's get back into talking about the work that the alumni has been doing for the school over the years.
Yes, and before I get started, you mentioned yesterday, what good thing can come out of CC Sweeting?
What good thing?
What good thing can come out of CC Sweeting?
Oh, by the way, Tizelle, make sure we get your video.
I just told about me.
Yeah, make sure we get that. Yeah, thanks for
I am so
reminding me.
excited, Miranda, of what I saw today. Of course, our honorees coming here and saying class of 2008.
Yeah.
This alumni is generated with 71 to 2022. And so we need all of you to come on board. It takes all of you to do this work. And so we're looking for all of you to join us. Getting back to what we have done already in the past, since I took over as overall president, I was saying that we have a pilot program that we have established with the school and a technical educational center, Rootdale Technical Educational Center, located in Freeport, Bahamas, has partnered with the alumni. One of the things that we came up with, we saw that a lot of children have graduated every year. We have a lot of kids, and some don't walk, some don't make their grade point average. And I wanted to do something, and I approached our board and the school for a second chance program. I believe in second chances. And during that time, we sent off 3 students. We raised funds. We spoke with the parents. I spoke with the administrator and director, Mr. Friendly Delancey of the school. He worked with us very well in getting the children to the Technical Institute. During that time, we had COVID coming, so the program had lapsed. But this program we want to start again, and with the ball coming up, this is one of our main focus, is doing the second chance program for the children that needs and want, for the parent that needs and want their child to have a second chance. I was speaking with our commandant, and I was telling him, and we agree that a lot of our children, and this age is a tech-savvy age.
Definitely.
And so a lot of us are technically inclined and academically inclined. And so for us, we don't want to discard our children that's not academically
Definitely
in
not.
schools, the quote unquote the A student. We want to embrace them and have them enhance their technical skills by giving them this second chance with Nassau Technical Institute. And so that's one of the main focus of the alumni during the 4 years that I have been overall president. We want to continue that. We have been also in discussion, and of course, most of you on this webinar, on this program, knows that when we were in school, our assembly line, everyone standing up in that hot sun, we couldn't wait to get back in the classroom. And I've noticed that it's getting hot. I came here early and I said, it's so hot. We want to focus on one of the things that the executive board, we know it's a Ministry of Educational project, but I believe that government can do, and they're supposed to do, don't get me wrong. But we have to step up to the plate and try to push these initiatives. So if government see us pushing these initiatives, they then will come on and join. I tend not to wait on government. And I notice we need a pavilion. And that's one of the things that we want to do, if we can, raise enough funds. So we're asking you to come and buy your tickets. This is your alma mater. This is your school. These are your kids. A lot of us who graduate from CC Sweeting, we had our own kids come here. I believe that we have so much, like our commandant and our commissioner said, so much of you that are due recognizing, that have made an impact on our society, that came from this CC Sweeting. Miranda, when I came into CC Sweeting, it was 1980. I'm a graduate of 83. And during that time, that was the era of the Big Dolly House, which was coming out. So
it's going down.
Yeah. So
we changed that.
And so when we came into CC Sweeting at that time, we were the underdogs.
Sure.
We were because everybody wanted to go to
Government High.
Everybody wanted to go to Government High.
Yes.
And even, I'm going to be honest, even myself, when I graduated from H.O. Nash, and we had a choice, because I was from Chippenham, and when my dad moved us in Mount Pleasant, Chippenham and Mount Pleasant, they all were supposed to come between Government High and CC Sweeting. And I was like, oh my God, let me go to Government High. And I was just telling the commandant as I was getting dressed to come here, I went back in time and I said, thank you, Lord, that I am a product of CC Sweeting. Because during my tenure at CC Sweeting, I was in hotel and catering.
Got that training.
Come on now.
Got that training.
When I came into hotel and catering, that instilled in me to become the owner of a restaurant in Fort Lauderdale today.
Who would have
thought that pilot program, the hotel training course, would have empowered me to walk into my God-given gifts, to use my hands. And so I thank God that they didn't send me to Government High. No offense if some Government High students are listening, but I thank God. CC Sweeting has produced, to me, Miranda, the best products of this nation. I believe that within my heart. And I believe that a lot of you out there are feeling like us. We want to now empower the students here at CC Sweeting. It's much harder. It's much harder for parents. It's much harder for the students coming to school because, you know, they have a look. We have a lot of alumni that are doctors and lawyers and therapists, counselors.
Right.
We need you. We need you.
Let me get a comment in. Clarence Russell says, I know carefully only males are being honored. You might wish to be more open-minded in gender equality era. Okay, Janet Johnson Russell, Assistant Port Controller. Listen, as I said before, this is just the first that we have at least made an initiative to begin to recognize people. Now, these people, you know you exist, you know you graduated from CC Sweeting, just like the group of us have come together and determined that we want to give back. And even for me, who was not here, even for Nelda, who was not here, but whenever we are, we put in that time. We're asking the same from others out there, and especially if you are planted here in Nassau or in the Bahamas in general, reach out and connect. We don't know, we are aware that there are people from all strata of society who are doing amazing things as alumni of the school. We know they exist, we just don't know who every individual is. And so again, if they would make themselves known, if they would get involved and put their hands to the plow and join us in our efforts to keep our school on the map and to be of some kind of assistance and mentorship to our students that are coming up, it will be a wonderful thing because we know we have so much to contribute, so much to give. Now they're running an international restaurant in Florida nowadays, and she's done so much even here locally, running restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. I told somebody, even me, product of chipping out, and now I'm vice president of global growth, development, and diversity at the Orion Education Group in Montgomery, Texas. I didn't know 40 years ago, walking around on this campus, that's where I would be. But I've stayed connected and tried to, whenever I can, to put my hand to the plow and to continue in the work. And that's all we're asking for everybody to do. We want to celebrate people. We want to celebrate achievements because people have worked hard to earn those achievements, but we can't celebrate you if we don't even know you exist.
You see, one of the things I said earlier is so much of you out there that deserve recognition. This is only our first one. We need all of you to send in your numbers. Find a classmate that is on one of the overall chats. I can send up my number at the end of this, so you can contact me so we can add you to the chat. Send us the names of persons that we don't know. I graduated in 83. Miranda was 82. I don't know most of the persons who graduated with Miranda in 82. Miranda don't know most of the persons who graduated with me in 83. And so we're looking for class of 71 to 2022 to contact us, to join us, to be a pivotal part in the development and the growth of this great school. We want to do more balls. We want to do more dinner parties where we honored persons. We had events leading up to the ball. We had fundraising events where we honored certain people. We're having one tomorrow on Saturday, where we're honoring certain students that we know. Some of them were from class of 76. I think the first president, the overall president, Dr. Debbie Newbert and Kenson, we honored them during one of the dance and one of the fun events. And so we want to honor every CC graduate, every one of you You might not be a doctor, a lawyer, an entrepreneur, but you are a product of the society, and you made some impact in this society. So you are to be honored. And coming to the ball on October 1st, that alone is an honor, because it's 50 years that the school has existed, and it's 50 years that this school has pushed out students, that has played a pivotal role in this society. And so all we are asking is for all of you to come with us, join us. I believe in teamwork. Me being the overall president, I cannot do it all by myself. And so each one of you play a pivotal role in bringing this together. This 50th year anniversary we had class of 76, we had class of 75, we had class of 80, 82, 83, 84 persons on the board that is making this happen. And so we need more of you to come and join us. I need y'all to buy your tickets early. They're going fast. We only have 350, and I think we only maybe have 150 left. Please get with your class groups, because we have a lot of classes that have their presidents. And so we are asking those presidents to please contact myself, Miranda, anyone on the board, so we can give you the information to push out to your class so you can buy tables. It'll be good for all of us to have our class tables together, because we haven't seen each other for years. And so this is one of the things. On Saturday, we're having our last fundraiser, which is the fair, the mini fair.
Right.
The tickets will be out there on sale on Saturday. Please come and purchase your class tables. It's a tables of 10 and 12. We are also asking you to purchase your dinner tickets. We have fish dinner and we have chicken dinner. We'll have
For Saturday.
For Saturday. This is Saturday, guys. And let me tell you the good thing about the board. I know Dr. Hunter mentioned the cocktail event with the auction. We're looking for you who love art. Come and purchase an art. We have one of our own, my sisters, who makes I think Miranda mentioned it, the
Commemorative plates.
Listen, this is going to be amazing. You have to be there. We have to work together for the betterment of our children at our alma mater, C.C. Sweeting High. I cannot do it. Miranda can't do it by ourselves. I said to someone the other day, when I came back, when I got married, I went to Las Vegas, and when I came back home, it was an excitement in me, Miranda. I wanted to see all of my friends. Mm-hmm. I wanted to find out, did they have the ball yet? Did we have any reunion yet? Did I miss this? Did I miss that? And come to find out, one of the reasons why I think I was brought back is to be a part of this, because I love my school. I love my school, and I know a lot of you love your school. I got married to a wonderful gentleman who was play a pivotal role with me, with helping with things that we're doing with the school, Joseph Fox, and I have 3 beautiful children who is also a part, Kyle, Tisa, and Jonella. Listen, get your children involved. Get your kids, get your husband, your wife involved. This is a family affair. Yeah. We got to do this.
It's going to be an amazing time. I'm so excited. And as I move around the town, being on the ground, everybody who I see, I'm asking them, why haven't you gotten your tickets yet?
That's right.
Why haven't you gotten
it? Going fast.
Like I just heard about it, but why haven't you gotten your tickets yet? But this is an opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of, while 2 are being highlighted, and of course to honor our former principal. Here's what's so significant about this, and especially with Mr. Archer. He literally founded this school, the very first principal. Right. He put 11 years of his blood, sweat, and tears into this school, and we felt it. We knew it, that it was not just a job. He wasn't just present, but he was here, active and involved in all aspects of our educational path for those of us who were here during his tenure.
That's right.
And so it's so very important that I think once you get in your mind, good afternoon to Michelle Monroe, Francina Thompson.
Hey, Michelle.
Good to have you guys on board. You have to feel like you want to be a part of it. We can encourage and push, but it has to be something innate that says, I have something that I want to contribute. I have something that I want to give back to the school. How she shared her excitement about coming back and wanting to be a part and wondering what was happening. I was the same way when I came from Grand Bahama, and I was like, oh, okay, what's going on? What had happened? Because I left Nassau at 16 years old. I left at 16. I never came back to Nassau until I was 42.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yes. Because, listen, me and Miranda kind of grew up together, too.
You see?
Little road, Quarry Mission Road.
Right there in
Right there in
I'm still
Chippenham.
there. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I'm still there right now with my aunt back just to hang with her.
We don't leave.
But the thing is, wanting to be a part, that's a desire that you have to have innately. We can't express it any more than that, but we want you guys to please share the news. This, by the way, is the first in a series
Yes.
of lives that we'll be having every week until October 1st, because we want to generate the excitement. And we want those of you who weren't able to make it today, come by. Come to the campus and let's talk so that you can share your memories of being here at the school. If you're driving by, turn right in the gate and come on down. Everybody is welcome. This is not an exclusive club. This is an inclusive club.
Yes.
Everybody literally can be a part of what is happening, and we invite you and encourage you to do that. If we really begin to talk about the achievement that the women of this class has made, it will be too many.
Yes.
Mr. Russell, and honestly, the men may start to feel bad because, no, seriously, I know women who are sitting in major offices throughout this country that are graduates of the school.
And
And so-
abroad.
Oh,
And abroad.
okay, see me here.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. That's right.
Right.
Trust me.
But we're all over. And you know what? The thing about it is, I think it's more for me about service.
Yes.
And not necessarily about what I've
Okay.
achieved
No,
or not
no,
achieved
no.
or being on it. It's so much about service and, like I said, creating an opportunity for some child that I didn't have
That's
as a
right.
kid
That's right.
to be able to offer it to as many. That's why we are involved. That's why our heart is in this, because we want somebody who wouldn't ordinarily have had a chance, perhaps, whether they go abroad to school or whether just locally. They may just not have had the means to even pay the tuition, to get in the entrance, to even pay for the registration for the application. I think those are the kinds of things that we want to do and utilize our money as an alumni to encourage those kids.
And to give them a second chance for
Yes.
those who don't have it.
Yeah, but the bottom line is they are our focus.
Yes.
The students, creating opportunities for them. And that's why we're encouraging all of you, even the mentorship,
That's right.
being able to mentorship. And yes, opportunities for you to come in and speak whenever necessary. But you know what? You could speak and you could come in and do something motivational. And that's for that moment. But it's the time that you pour in to students that are most memorable. So many people walked in and talked about different teachers that, I believe it was Dr. Hunter, as a matter of fact, our chairman, who said there was a teacher that pulled him aside and began to pour into him. And as a result, he not only passed O levels for GCE at the time, but he passed A levels. And all of us during that era, we know A levels was like the pinnacle of your academic
And
success.
Miranda, I had the same experience like Dr. Hunter. I had a teacher I will never forget. I have to look for him and I have to buy him a ticket to come to this school. So if any one of you know, Lionel Johnson, he was my history science teacher.
Somebody mentioned it already this
Listen,
afternoon.
I am trying to find him. He played a pivotal role in my life, even down to when I had no lunch money. I could go to Mr. Johnson and he would encourage me. I had one bad experience with one teacher, I wouldn't call that name, but persons who went to the school know the one with the long fingernail. Okay, my teacher.
I think you know already called her name. Well, whoever it is,
and it's a he.
Well, you called his name without calling his name because you identified him, okay?
Only persons who know. But I have and I don't think it was really a bad experience. I think it pushed me, Miranda. Let me tell you why. I was not a bad student, I don't think. I never was really sent to the office like that. I can't remember. And if I was, it maybe once or twice. But I was in math class, and we had students behind making noise. But you know, when you sit in that row, and the teacher tell you, all of you, go, yes. I was in that, all of you go. And I tried to explain to him, it wasn't me.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like what the Commodore said.
Yes, it wasn't me. And he said, I do not care. All of you, and he said this, because the majority, and he looked at me and said this, because the majority of you are not going to learn anything. You're going to leave school, get pregnant, and have a bunch of children. This was what was that stuck with me. And Miranda, through my teen adult life, that stuck with me to prove him wrong. And so
that really was motivation.
That even though it sounds bad, guys,
it was a negative
but I turned positive.
Yeah.
And with that, I only have 3 kids. I am married, and I am an entrepreneur with my own business. So I didn't. What he had said negatively, didn't impact my life positively in that way. It impacted my life positively where I turned it around.
Yes.
And with Mr. Lionel Johnson, he was the only one I could go to when I cried, when I needed encouragement. The same thing with the BJCs. I didn't know if I passed my BJCs. And he looked, and after graduation, he called me and he said, you passed them. It was a scary moment in the 12th grade back in those days, because you had to, in order to graduate, you had to have a 2.5.
Yes.
So with growing up, and my mom and dad had 8 of us, and we were back to back. So it was a struggle, but it was a good life I had with my parents. But with school, you had to show a difference where you had to be better. You know, Prohibition Road, you had to push. And so I want to thank Mr. Johnson for being there. I promised him in that 12th grade, and I did that when I had my first child, that he would be my first child godfather. Wow. I look for him, and he is my first child godfather. But amazing. I haven't seen him.
And that's what teachers do. I mean, really good teachers are impactful. I think of, for me, it was Francine Marie Glio. She was an English teacher. She taught English rather, but she was an American that taught English, Francine Moriglio. And she, those of you who don't know, I have a career, my background is in journalism. She taught me to love English. She made it fun. She made jokes in the class, and she identified that I had the gift to write. And I honed in on that gift, and I'll never forget her. Strangely enough, I have another friend that went to the school, Jerusha Lavarity, Terry, who now lives in West Palm Beach. She's an educator there. We were talking about Miss Moriglio rather, about a couple of months ago, and we decided to Google her as we were talking. And we found that she's still alive. She lives in Florida now, because after her tenure at C.C. Sweden, apparently she went on to college in the Bahamas and taught there for several years. And then she returned to the U.S., but she's still alive. And we called her. We literally called her to say hello. So she's very much alive. And so she was very pivotal in that's been my life's path. Yes. My career has been journalism and broadcasting and doing all of those things. I shared the story with the group of teachers we spoke with the other day that as head girl of the school, I was sent to ZNS to represent the school on a talk show with Phil Smith back then. He was a sportscaster, now deceased. But after doing the show, I think I was 14, 15 then, Phil pulled me on the side. And Elder, he planted these seeds in me. Watch this. Whenever you go to college, make sure you major in journalism.
My Lord.
Now, I'm not even sure at that time that I was thinking about college, but he planted that seed in a 15-year-old girl. When I finally got the opportunity to go to college,
That's what you did.
because he told me I was a natural. He told me I was gifted. And I followed that, and it's been smooth sailing.
That's why we have to be careful what we put in our children's ear. I tend to try to speak positiveness into my children's ear, even when I see they're going through this little rough patch. Try as parents, and then of course when we come to our students here, let's put positiveness into their ear, because it takes them to their life's journey.
Absolutely.
And trust me when I tell you this, my staff now that I have, and my kids growing up, they said to me, "Mommy, why every time you cook, you don't leave dirt, dishes, nothing?" I said, because when in April Nash, we at that time we used to cookery teacher, and one of her things was, when you cook, you have to clean as you go. You have to clean as you go. That stuck with me. I cannot cook
Without
cleaning first. I cannot cook and every restaurant that I owned, I would tell myself, this is something I want to see. If you cut up tomatoes and you finish with your tomatoes, you clean that. So we have to be careful what we speak, even to one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even to one another,
Absolutely.
because it goes with us. So we asking you guys, please spread the word.
Yes.
Spread the word. This, like Miranda says, she's going to be here every Thursday from 1. We need all of you to come down, give your positive stories. Let your other classmates see you. See what you have done.
What you've achieved
What
over
you've
the
achieved.
years.
And
Yeah.
persons who know other alumni that plays a pivotal role. Give us the names. Have them join us, because this is only the beginning.
Absolutely. So listen, I've been talking like all day, but this is what I do. But I've been talking like all afternoon. You see, guys, I even was choking for a minute. But I've committed to do this because this is important, and we're just pulling all of this stuff together. But the thing is, we're not just looking for alumni, meaning graduates. We want to talk to you principals.
That's right.
We want to talk to vice principals. We want to talk to former teachers, former educators. You may
They're
be
honoring them also. Did you let them know that? Former teachers.
We want to talk to people. If you played any role in the 50 years of the establishment of CC Sweeting Senior High School, we want to talk to you. We want to recognize you. We want to say thank you. We want to say thank you, because whatever role, hey, listen, even if you were a cleaner in the school and had to put up with us,
That's right.
those kids dirtying up the bathrooms and throwing the tissue up in the roof, right? Like,
And the classrooms.
the classrooms. I mean, if you're out there, listen, come by. We want to salute you and to remember you and to say thank you. Michelle saying for me, the impactful teacher for her was Deborah Colby,
the French
the
teacher.
French
Yes,
teacher.
yes.
Okay, so I'm sure all of you have a story of at least one teacher
Yes.
that would have been impactful in your life and to just help you to, I mean, at a time when you were down, somebody who you could go and cry to, or maybe tell a secret to, or
Yes.
they slipped some lunch money to
That's
you
right.
when you were hungry. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
want to recognize all those people and just say thank you for being the epitome of what it is to be a good educator, to be somebody who's loving, who's caring, who's kind, who really suits the profession.
Yes.
Because there are so many out there who, we already know just the paycheck. But we want to salute all of those teachers. So if you're a former educator, a former principal, a former vice principal, a former janitress, cleaner, whatever, former anything, and you're connected to CC Sweeting, we want to hear from you. We want to see you. We want to celebrate you. And most of all, for me, being a storyteller, I want to have stories.
So you hear stories. I want to listen to the stories. I love it.
I want to hear the stories. I want to hear those hidden stories, things what's going on in the background, what ain't nobody else know about, but you and the other person who was doing it. I want to hear the stories with the people sneaking out the gate.
Yes.
Dennis, those who went out during lunchtime to go get a patty or something when they're supposed to be on campus. We want to hear all those kinds of stories, man, and just take a look back, you know, at where we were and look at how amazing God has been
That's right.
in our
So
lives.
trust me, I wish we could get Dennis also, Dennis James, on here. You know, Dennis James.
Oh, yeah. He was radical.
He was
back.
radical.
Yeah.
He was radical.
And if somebody finds him, definitely
Yes,
invite him to come on down.
Yes.
And let's have a talk, because I'm sure he has so much to share about what's happening. The school has made its impact in society. The students are everywhere. And for those who kind of feel like they're hiding behind because they don't want to celebrate, man, let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate 50. We might live to see the next 50 years. Well,
For sure. I mean,
I just want to say,
no,
seriously. So,
I mean, let's celebrate. This is a moment now that we all can embrace. See, that's the beauty of this. You see, while Nelda and Clayton and whoever, they may be seated at the head table, but it's a reason for everybody to celebrate.
everybody is being
You know, it really doesn't matter. Let's just celebrate what God has done in the lives of the underdogs, because
That's
we
right.
were the least likely
least likely.
to succeed, and according to some people.
Yeah.
According to some people, we
It
were
was all
the
private
least.
school and government high.
We were the least likely, and you didn't want to go. And I came from the private school, so I shared my story with. I was completely intimidated by being in the school. The only person I knew was my brother, who was a year ahead of me, like literally. So I didn't come from HO Nash. I didn't come from TG Glover. So I was a fish out of water. So you could
supposed to be
imagine.
there.
No, God, it was divinely.
It was
and obviously it was not the school of choice, because of I definitely what happened was my dad had fallen ill, paying all the school fees, fallen ill during that time. And my family had to make a decision whether they could continue to pay. But here was the amazing strategy. You can remain in private school and we may not be able to get you to college, or you could forfeit that and we could have some money so that when it's time for you to go.
Yeah, so I mean, you chose the latter.
But the amazing thing was, so I was registered at both schools, Government High and the school, but there was no seat.
You suppose it was destiny, because we wouldn't have been here today if she was at government high. So
It
you
was
see how
destiny.
God, He's all putting this together. Come join us.
Man, we
And
wait.
share this live too, because
Yeah.
yes, please share the live to all of your child groups, all of the persons that you know. They need to see what we're doing.
And they need to see the people, man.
Yeah, they need to see
You know,
the
they need to see who has come out of.
Yes.
You know. Oh, by the way, y'all, we're starting a campaign, and it's called "Can Any Good Thing Come Out of CC's Meeting?"
right.
And what we want you to do is send us your videos, at least 30 seconds, saying who you are, your class when you graduated, and what you're doing today. Because we want to highlight
That's right.
the successes of our students. So can any good thing come out of CC's meeting?
I did.
I did. I definitely
did.
did. And you did too. You did too. So listen, we were just having fun and having an amazing time, because we want you to feel the love. We want you to feel the camaraderie. This is real. Listen, Mr. Russell, thank you so much for giving us the names of all of these
Oh
people.
wow, yes.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about the fair. The fair's tomorrow. We've been talking about
It's on
that.
Saturday.
The fair is tomorrow on the grounds of the
Saturday, tomorrow's Friday.
oh,
We live in Dubai.
Yeah.
See, it's so much excitement in the room. That's
the fair is Saturday on the grounds of Fish Fry, Arawaki, whatever you call it. But bring your kids, because they're supposed to be bouncing castle and activities for them, so you don't have to come. Plus, tickets for the banquet are going to be on sale as well.
Get it fast. Trust me, they're going fast.
Yeah, so we want you to to pass by. Mr. Russell, we appreciate you with
Oh,
all of this
yes.
information. And Annette Rose says, teachers who made a meaningful impact on my life or Mrs. Mays. Listen,
Smith.
I'm so glad you remembered her. Maisie Smith was my homeroom teacher. Yes, typing
That's
skills. Absolutely. Yes, thank you for calling her. Maisie Smith, definitely. And Mrs. Ann Lethbridge, my homeroom teacher who prepared me for life. So we salute both of those educators. That's what we want to do. Thank you so much for reminding me about Mrs. Smith, Maisie Smith. She was, yes, definitely very. Listen, and I shared the story earlier. I went into the business department because Nelda, my little teenage mind, was thinking way back then I needed to have a skill. And so I was like, if I don't go to college or anything, at least when I come out of college, I can type and I can get a job as a secretary.
Yes.
That was as far as my little teenage mind went at the time. I wasn't no.
I was thinking working in a hotel. I'm telling you no lie, because hotel training was all I loved, and I was like, yeah, well, let me major in this at CC, and then of course and I did it. I out of school I went to the front desk at Solution Beach. Everybody knew Solutions no longer there, and so part of my teen life was hotel until I met my wonderful husband and we started our restaurant.
The rest is history. Yeah, so I was thinking, get a skill that you can use so at least you can get a job just as you come out of high school. You can be able to type. And I used the typing, but it was for something else, right? Because I never worked as a secretary. But listen, man, we so want to hear your stories.
Yes.
So come out next week whenever you can. In the coming weeks, and I'll be here as long as somebody's here to talk to. Because
I'll be here. I'll have a talk.
So we're committed to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And to as many and to share your stories. Always, if you think of somebody or somewhat thing that we need to highlight, you can inbox me. I'm on Facebook, Nelda's on Facebook as well.
Yes.
And send us your suggestions. That's why I appreciate you so much, Mr. Russell,
yes.
for all that you've been saying and all of this information that you've been giving us. Because we would not know.
And Mr. Russell, we need you. I don't know if
he's a Grand Bahama.
Oh, Grand Bahamas. But listen,
can still come on a Zoom call.
On the Zoom calls, and if need be, which is to be, we would need a branch in Grand Bahama. We have a lot of alumni that lives in Grand Bahama. And so even if we can branch this out.
Oh, sure. That's a conversation and something, worth discussing, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I committed to 4. We almost there.
We almost there.
We almost there, guys. So listen, remember, Saturday is the mini fair on Arawak Key. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Remember, Saturday is this is the last fundraising event prior to the 50th anniversary, the gala banquet on October 1st at Super Club Breezes. I think we are going to try to, definitely we'll be having photographs and stuff. And oh, by the way, there is a Facebook page for the alumni.
Yes.
If you guys haven't seen it, I don't remember. Yeah. There's a Facebook page, and join the page because that page is keeping us up to date with the activities that are happening, not just this week, but in the coming weeks and months ahead. So make sure all you we're here to support each other, but just search it. You'll come across, there are a lot of different classes, by the way. If you're in a class in 80 something, 90 something, 2000 or something, whatever, join that general alumni page, 70s, 80s, 90s, so that we all can at least be knowledgeable. CC Sweeting alumni, that's the page, and just like that page, and you can be kept up to date. And we welcome suggestions, definitely. 2 are better than 1. 3-fold cord can't easily be broken, and so we appreciate everything that you would recommend and suggest. And for those of you, like I said, who are based in Nassau, come on board.
Yeah.
Come on board.
Freeport, Mr. Clarence Russell,
Yeah.
we need a branch there.
So we'll have a conversation. And I know quite a number of people there as
Yes.
well. So with that in mind, so we are going to have so many amazing things coming on stream in the coming year. Because after October, appreciate, we having nothing else after this except we might just want to party together or something, right? So, ain't nothing else happening.
But the
And I
first
want to
of
give
next year.
a wonderful shout out to our chair, Miss Dr.
Yes.
Hunter. Listen, guys, he has been doing such an amazing job. Such an amazing job, just all around.
You got to see this booklet that he's putting together. Trust
Just
me.
such an amazing job all around. I mean, connecting and filling in. And also, as I noted earlier, what I'm proud of is that he is the chairman of the board for the
Board
school. CCC for seniors. See that
So you
logo in
see
the back there?
so you see what we're doing here, right, guys?
Everybody's involved.
Everyone.
We're getting, and we don't mind where you are, what you're doing. People are just showing up. And I was so happy that influx came in, even though they came in with much noise, right, y'all? Right, they did. But they came in, but that's what we want to do, begin to create the buzz and generate the excitement and let people know that we're here to stay, and we're here to make our contributions to we're here to make our contributions to this society and continue to do that. So thank you to everybody that stopped by today, and we look forward to seeing you in the weeks ahead. What else, Nelda? What are your parting words?
My parting words is persons who are on the group chat, please. I know it's a lot on that overall group chat, but just look at the information that we'll be posting for the fair in the next day, today and tomorrow. And then definitely after the fair, everything is focused on you guys getting your tickets, get your ball dress, try to spread the word. Maybe you might not be on the executive board, but your part is to spread the word. And so that's your part you're playing in this season right now, because we need you to be a part of that executive team, and that executive team needs you now to go out there and spread the word. Get your classes, get your tables of 10, your tables of 12. It'll be best you do it, but yeah, you might have your family and you want to buy a table for your family. Please, I think Miranda posted my number. I know Dr. Hunter put his number out there. Miranda is here. Call us, get your tickets early. We only have one more month
Oh yeah,
left.
let me put my Bahamas number here. I'm glad you reminded me about that. So this is my Bahamas number, guys. For
All of the numbers are going out there.
Yeah, I thought it's probably okay. All right, what's the number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call us.
So that's my Bahamas number, and reach out. I respond.
Yes.
I'm
So
not
do
those
I.
person that take like 6 days to respond. At least give me 24 hours, and I will respond to you for sure. But let's get on board. Tell somebody else about it, because that's the thing about it. Somebody who hasn't heard, who isn't even aware of what's happening. Make sure to engage another classmate. The people who were in your class. Don't be like me, who didn't remember all the people's names, right? In my own homeroom. But whoever you remember, share it with them, man. So
Share
that
the
they can be-
live. Share the live.
share the live so that they can be a part again on Facebook, or they can watch it on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel as well. And tell us what we're missing.
Yeah.
Tell us what we're missing out. Tell us where the loopholes are so we could fill the gaps. And because we want to be inclusive. Like I said, this is not an exclusive club.
No.
It's inclusive. So
No.
we want everybody. This is 50 years.
That's right.
So we should have a good representation of all the persons who have passed through the school over the past 5 decades. 5 decades.
5 decades. Wow. Am I that young?
Yeah. Listen, for me, it's been 40, like
Okay.
literally 82, 22.
Wow.
So, but we're here and very proud
Yes.
and excited about the possibilities and willing to give back and to do whatever we can. So Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Don't forget, we'll put the notification out. Even if you're not in the chat, again, like the CC Sweden alumni page, and that will keep you up to date on whatever is happening next. We'll do our best to keep you informed through social media. Also, in the coming weeks, you can expect to hear us, those of you who are in Nassau, you can expect to hear us on radio,
That's right.
various stations promoting the banquet. So we'll be doing that, a press conference, of course, which is likely. Teresa, you want to say something to us
Yes.
before we leave? Come on
So
in.
Teresa is also living in the States.
And, and Teresa is here. Teresa's class of 80. Oh man,
I'm telling you.
82 is just all
She
over
has
this
been doing
thing.
an awesome job though from
And just working. And you know what? Teresa's the one, by the way, y'all, who has designed the
That's right.
commemorative plate.
That's right.
You don't have nothing with you now to show it.
Yes, I have now phone. So.
On you right now?
Of course.
Okay, so let's show that.
Yeah.
Let's
That's so pretty.
let's show it. She's the one responsible for the commemorative plates, CC Sweeting. So let's get Teresa in to talk a little bit. I was getting ready to sign off, but since you came, you're gonna be our last
And let them know it comes with the stand.
to sign off. But it's just so many wonderful, creative people.
She didn't open this twice. Now you know I must get the discount.
What? So just so many wonderful, creative people on our team that have been working behind the scenes to pull everything together. And so yeah, come on, let's.
This is
I want to hold this.
so you know from the 80s.
Okay, so here it goes, guys. Oh,
Some of us didn't get a diploma. So this is my representation of my diploma.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Come
That's
on,
right.
come on. Yes.
Okay.
Turn it so it's straight so you can see.
The other way. There you go.
Okay. So if you can see, it's Nelda Fox, her name on it. Class of 83, but these are the commemorative plates that Teresa, if she can get in, has provided and will be on sale. She have to sit in, but that's the only way I can see her.
So listen, guys, I'm gonna go. You'll see me next week Thursday, but please do me the favor. You are the voice out there. Sell the tickets. Come buy the tickets and see you on Saturday. We're gonna have fun on Saturday.
Yes.
Over in our Cobra Nation.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. Come on in, Teresa. So this is Teresa Roll, class of 82. Okay, yeah.
Hi, everyone.
And she's the one responsible for the commemorative plate that you would have just seen. So Teresa lives in Florida, has been there for over 30 years.
33 years.
33 years, but still, this is what I've been stressing. Even though she lives out of country, she has still found a way to be connected and to be involved in the process of helping us to not only promote this event, but just to give back to the school. So, Teresa, we appreciate you. Tell us give us a little hint, right? Because Teresa's responsible for the decorations.
Yes, I'm in charge of the decorating committee.
Etc. So, and the silent auction. Give us an idea, right? Because I want to begin to tease people on what to expect at this banquet. So tell us a little bit about what you guys have planned.
So for the silent auction, we have quite a few gifts that we will have on display, from some huge paintings, some personalized paintings. We have some jewelry, some other Bahamian stuff. There's a lot of different things that I know will really, really do well on the silent auction. And everything has been donated by alumni. And then it is also an opportunity for anyone that has their business. This is an excellent opportunity for you to be able to showcase your business by, offering us one of your products that we can put on display for the silent auction. So if you have a business, please, we're still looking for more items. I mean, the more the merrier, because again, this is a fundraising event. So the more we have that we can put on display, that we can sell, the more monies we are able to accumulate to help our school. So anyone that has anything that they would like for us to use for the silent auction, you can
donate it. And
Yes.
also Teresa is on Facebook as well, Teresa Roll. Again, you can reach out to Dr. Hunter, Andrew Hunter, or Nelda Fox, whatever, and they'll be connected to her. But I want to talk to Dr. Hunter one more time because I want him, Dr. Hunter, Dr. Hunter, excuse me. I want you to come and talk. We didn't talk too much about the ads and the opportunities for people because it sparked me when Teresa mentioned if you're a business owner and you have a product or something that you want to be featured in the silent auction. But I want you to tell them about the opportunities for them to advertise because I know we have like business card and this and full page. Tell them about the opportunities that they have to advertise in the booklet.
Thank you so much. I really would wish that everyone here would place an ad in the booklet. The ads run really cheap. $100 for full page, $150 for half page, and $75 for quarter page. We also have honorable mention at $25, and we have business card spots at $50. And so you may not be able to say a lot to afford all of that. We have a spot for you that you can afford. Choose your pricing. Get this, you can double up with somebody else on an ad to help you pay for your ad. You don't have to sit to bear that price alone. For the sponsorship package, our sponsorship package range in gold, silver, and bronze. And I can tell you the goal is moving. So the goal is really moving, and we're asking persons to come along. Sponsorship package, the goal is I think 35 to 5,000, 25 to 20 to sorry 1,500 to 2,500.
For silver?
And still the silver and the bronze is 1,000 to 15. Okay, 3,500 to no, I want to backtrack on the silver. So 2,500 to I think it's 2,000 for the silver, 1,000 to 2,000 for the bronze.
Okay.
So that's how we do it. And then I'm telling you, the package is great. It comes with complimentary tickets. It also comes with, you get your honorable mention book material specifically to you, your honorship booklet, and then you have your ticket that you and your guest or your company can sit down at the table and enjoy a moment with us. Come share our love, come share our night. This is going to be one of the greatest things that you have ever invested in. Our school needs your support. We need all the help we can get. So but get your ads now. It's not too late. Our date's taking it is around 15th of September.
Okay.
But if you have a late ad and we can push it in and you want to get your ad in, 808-1797.
Just make sure it's photo ready too,
Right,
like
so,
it's ready.
and make sure your ads are ready, JPEG or PDF in those formats. You can set your own ads, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Now, let's get back to the little nitty gritty about the banquet before we go. So give us a little bit more about what we could expect that night.
Well, I know from the decorating committee, we're also responsible for the entertainment as well. So we do have the police force and the defense force band that will provide entertainment. We have some soloists that will be singing, and I know that they're also going to give personalized, I think they're going to be doing tributes to some of our honorees.
Right.
The best part is going to be the dance afterwards.
Okay.
So we're definitely, you know how we used to do it back in the days. So we're looking forward to, some of us, we might have lost some of our,
steps.
Exactly, but we'll find it. We'll find it on that night. But we're really looking forward to a great time. The place is going to be decorated. It's going to be an event to remember.
So you're going to
we're going to transform
the room and take us into a place we've never been before.
Exactly.
It's just going to be beautiful. It's going to be a moment of escape for those of you who might need an escape just for those couple hours that night. Come on, let's do this big. So excited to have you here. It's so good to see you after all these years.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes.
So listen, guys, spread the word. Ingrid Bain, thanks for tuning in. We see you. Francine, and thank you for tuning in. All of you, Mr. Russell, we're going to definitely not turn you loose because you're going to be very instrumental in helping us to further coordinate things as we move forward. So thank you, everybody. This has been the first edition of Welcome Home Cobras. I'm Miranda Innes, class of 82. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you when he comes stick your hand in since you're here. Tell him, hey.
I'm on the class of 85. Good to see you all. I'll see you all at the ball.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.